Best part? This valuable learning opportunity is simple, practical, and affordable for everyone. Ready to become a SAP AI functional consultant? Join our course today, and for more details, visit ZaranTech website.
So welcome to the new course, which is SAP AI for functional consultants. Okay, so let me share my screen. What are we going to cover in this? I'm just showing you here. So this is the course curriculum for this course. So in this course, we will be covering on SAP AI foundations for functional consultants, wherein which we will be seeing the different modules. Module 1 covers with AI foundations for functional consultants. And module 2 cover for AI for finance consultants, and for AI for HR consultants, AI for supply chain consultants, and cross-functional adoption governance and capstone project, how to do, what to do. A kind of hands-on will be provided to you. Okay. So let's understand all these things. So in this, we'll be having primarily on these ones, how to do kinds of things also. So let's understand all these individual items, as part of this one. Okay. So onto this, let me start with this. So you can see here the module 1, which talks about a small disclaimer before that. All right. So SAP AI landscape for business users. So the SAP AI landscape is basically designed, as you can see, the functions perspective, basically at the empowering of team, decision support, or contextual intelligence, right? So business users don't need to build models, but they can still use, again, get the benefit from the AI. Okay. The functional consultant mindset for AI project, like, a functional consultant's role is what in AI project is not technical implementation, right? But a business transition plus governance. So there is a shift in mindset you have to observe. What is the, that's a traditional thinking, like which transaction code, which configuration setting. Okay. More of those things will not work. That's a traditional thinking. So AI oriented thinking means what? Here a functional consultant should think, where can AI improve this process? What data is needed? How do we measure success? This is what we have to manage. So the key responsibilities, if we go a little bit deep down into it, if I unfold it in the one layer, so you have to identify the use cases, like, invoice automation, demand forecasting, or fraud detection. So you should focus on the business value, not on the algorithms. Okay. And then you have to define the data requirement. So what data is needed? Is it clean or is it available? Like garbage in, garbage out kind of requirements. No, like we have to do that. And then you have to define the success metrics, accuracy thresholds or business KPIs like cost reduction, what is the time saved, and validate your outputs time to time. Because does the AI result make business sense or not? Is it usable in real scenarios or not? We have to ensure the governance, compliance, all these things. So working with AI without coding is also one thing which we will be discussed. But for now, this is what at the landscape level, which you have to understand. So for the business users, I just explained you on this. The functional consultant mindset, I just explained you, right? It should be of more of high volume, low complexity kind of thing. Information bottlenecks, either data rich patterns for poor or something. So which you have to be count on that. And mapping pain points to these opportunities, one such thing which you have to understand that, it's a AI opportunity that I just told to you, how you have to mapping that pain point, where the original value add that you can bring onto this is what you have to primarily look for. Okay. And the working with AI without coding is there, which means SAP strongly supports a no-code, low-code AI usage, especially for the business users. Now, how your work without coding is a concern, right? So you can use a pre-built AI in SAP apps. Example, S4HANA automatic invoice matching will be there. Success factors, for example, resume screening will be there. So AI is already embedded. So when you use SAP Generative AI, so you can write prompts, you can generate the insights, you can build the simple AI workflows. So altogether here, no coding is required, just a prompt engineering. Okay. So monitor via SAP Launchpad and configure instead of code. These are all things. That is why the build environment will be provided to you. So that is where you can go and, you can make things on top of that. So without AI, functional consultant, like he might be doing a manual data entry or a time consuming activities you might perform. But with AI, that does actually, AI will help you on the invoice data, such as validation. So your functional consultant role will be more of verifying the results, handle the exceptions, and improve the process. No coding involved at any cost of the time, at any level or layer of this architecture. Okay, so these are the things which you have to run. For example, so the a total end-to-end business flow, if you can say, the business needs something will be there. So that you will put it into AI use case, and that will be further into use, you will further use that further data required for that, and you will keep a model and do a business validation and continuous use of that application. Simple as that. Okay. So SAP AI landscape separates these technical and business roles clearly. So functional consultants, they will be acting here as a bridge between your business and AI. So business users can use AI without the coding through their applications or through their launchpad or through their generative AI. So whatever it might be. So that is how you have to think on the functional consultant mindset for AI projects. So if you review approvals and exceptions also, these are the one such things which you can, I just told you right now, what are the duties on top of that. So now let's explore the hands-on more on this, so we can understand things also better on top of this. Okay. So now what are we going to do this in the lab exercises? Now we will identify AI use cases from a sample finance HR SEM process map. Okay. We will classify those use cases into co-pilot, prediction, recommendation, or automation. And then we have to understand, like, we'll build a simple AI opportunity checklist for one business. Now, directly we're going not in the system, but it's an important activity as part of that, which we will be doing. So let me open this notepad. So first important thing we have to do is identify any 10 AI use cases, each to finance, HR, and SEM. Okay, so now let me see. So I'm giving the list of all use cases here. Now let's go with finance. First of all, AI use cases, finance. Okay. So first use case you can do is the most common one, invoice data extraction. Okay. This is nothing but called AP automation as well. Okay. What you will do here, you will extract the data from invoices automatically. Okay. This is the first use case. Second use case, we can go from the same one, duplicate invoice detection. Okay. So what you will do here, you will identify the duplicate fraudulent invoices. That is the second important case. Third one, you can say again, fraud detection level, you can say payment fraud detection. Payment fraud detection. So what you can do here, you can detect suspicious transactions with this activity. Okay. And fourth one, cash flow forecasting. What is cash flow forecasting here? You will predict the future inflows and outflows. Then next, credit risk scoring. So what you will do from credit scoring? You can evaluate customer credit worthiness. Okay. And then you can go for one of the good thing, expense classification. So what you will do in expense classification, we will auto categorize the employee expenses. And then from account receivable, okay, the most common thing is prediction of late payments, right? So accounts receivable prediction. Okay. So what you will do in this, predict late payments. Okay. And then one of the other important one here we can write. There are hundreds of units out there, but most and important I'm just mentioning here, financial close automation. So what we will do here, we will automate reconciliation and closing tasks. Ninth one, tax anomaly detection. So what we can do from here, identify unusual tax entries, which is a good thing, right? Because many of the times we have to know unusual tax entries and all these things. So this is one such thing which will be helpful for us. The 10th one, audit document matching. I'm covering all areas here. So what does this does? Match invoices, POs, and receipts automatically. These are the one of the wonderful 10 use cases from the finance perspective. Okay. I'm just lock the screen for a minute. Please have a look on it and just let me, you can keep it for your reference as well. Just have a look on it. Okay. Now, next one, let's do for HR, similar cases. For SCM, sorry, I'll come after the SCM for this. For HCM or success factors kind of scenarios, common ones I'm mentioning here for you one by one. First one, we can say very importantly, resume level, resume screening and ranking. It is an important thing, right? So what you will do here, you will shortlist best candidates. Okay. Second one, employee attrition prediction. Okay. This is nothing but you will predict who may leave on top of this. Okay. And then the third one, which is very important, AI HR chatbot, right? What is this does? It's an employee support where it will answer HR queries. Fourth one, skill gap analysis. So what does this do? It will identify the missing skills. Fifth one, learning recommendation engine. So what does this do? This will suggest training programs. And then next one, interview scheduling automation. So here what it will do? It will auto schedule the interviews. Okay. Seventh one, we can take performance review insights, right? You need performance, right? So analyze the employee performance needs. Trends. Analyze employee performance trends. Then next, what is the next one we can see here? We will be many important diversity and bias detection for the hiring bias. Diversity and bias detection, wherein which we can identify the hiring bias. Ninth one, workforce demand forecasting. So what does this do? This will predict the hiring needs. Last one, I can make sentiment analysis. It's employee feedback. Like it will analyze the employee satisfaction. So these are all important 10 important HR based, we call Joule or AI things that you can do on top of this. Use cases, basically, right? All right. Now, next one, we'll go for the SCM. So, supply chain management. Very important supply chain management is what? Demand forecasting, right? It does what? Predict the product demand. All right. Then, inventory optimization. Very, very important things will be there here. This will maintain the optimal stock levels. And then we have supplier risk prediction. What does this do? This will identify the unreliable vendors. Okay. And the next one is procurement recommendation engine. So what is this procurement recommendation? What we will do here? We will suggest the best suppliers from this. So many use cases will be there, but these are the primary ones which I'm mentioning, guys. One of the other in this SAM is I go regarding we have route optimization we can do. So we can do one more real time, which is a delivery route optimization. Okay. So what does this do? This will optimize the logistics and routes in logistics routes basically, right? And then one of the other important picking optimization, which is called warehouse automation. What you can do here, you can improve picking efficiency on top of this. The seventh one is predictive maintenance equipment level, where you can predict the machine failures here. Okay, and eighth one, we have the fulfillment prediction, which means it will predict delays in delivery. Okay, and then we have price optimization, wherein which it can recommend optimal pricing for this. And then we have demand supply matching, which you can do, which is a balance supply with demand dynamically. These are all these 10, 10, 10 as mentioned in your lab exercises, right? The first lab exercise, identify 10 AI use cases from finance, HR, SCM, process map. So these are all the 10, 10, 10 SCM, HR, AI, finance ones. Okay. Let me put it here. Okay. I'm holding a screen for a minute. Please look into this, guys. Because this is important SCM especially. All right. All 10 done, right? Now, what is the lab 2 exercise? We have it here. You have to identify, after identification, classify use cases into co-pilot, prediction, recommendation, and something they have mentioned there. Like, what is that classification? I'll give you all these 30 simply, neatly also for you. Okay. So, when you want to classify co-pilot, prediction, recommendation, automation means co-pilot means you have to assist the users interactively, like HR chatbot example in HR case. Forecast prediction means forecasting. the future outcomes like demand forecast and all these things. Recommendation means suggesting the best action like inventory levels and all these things. Automation means which will replaces the manual work, which is invoice processing and all these things, right? So in these use cases, we have to identify those ones. Okay. Now what I will do, every module, I'll stop for 2 minutes. Okay. And I'll give the 2 minutes to you. Now I will tell you the answers. You just, in the meanwhile, I know this is a recording, but you will not be available to me directly. But yes, why I'm giving time, it's not that you can directly go jump into it. Just see the screen at least for a minute. And then I'll tell you from this what are copilot, what are predictions, what are recommendations, what are automations. Okay. So let me give you a minute. Please analyze from the finance what are from these categories. And let's writing that here. What are the categories here? Copilot, prediction, recommendation, and automation. All right. So now first one, Copilot cases. So here I'll come one by one here. Invoice data extraction. It's nothing but you're doing extracting data. So this is nothing but an automation action. Your invoice getting extracted, right? Automatically, the name itself indicates automatically. So this goes into automation. Now next comes duplicate invoice detection. This is also something it is doing, right? Identifying that and making something. This is also automation. Now payment fraud detection, detecting something from this. This is also automating. Okay. Cash flow forecasting. Forecasting is nothing but what? Prediction. It comes under prediction category. Credit risk scoring. Evaluate customer credit worthiness. That is, you are evaluating something, which means again it's a prediction. Expense classification. Auto categorize. The name itself indicates auto. So this comes under automation. Now next, predict the late payments. This one. This is also again comes under prediction. The name already indicates the prediction. Right? No need to worry about that. This comes under prediction. Okay. And the next one is financial close automation, which is nothing but you can go for automate reconciliation and closing, which is again an automation task. Tax anomaly detection. This is also an automation. And again, audit document and matching, which is nothing but you are suggesting some best actions and everything, which comes under recommendation. So like this for HR also. Let me put HR into one single bucket. Now you can tell me of all these 10. Okay, just half a minute. I'll hold the screen here and I'll explain you what is each one comes into the category. Right. Now resume screening and ranking, it comes under automation. Attrition prediction comes under prediction. Here it is already a chartboard, so it's a chartboard. Skill gap analysis again automation. Recommendation comes under recommendation. Scheduling automation comes under automation. Reviewing is comes under prediction. Diversity bias reduction again comes under recommendation. Workforce demand forecasting comes under forecasting. Analysis again comes under your document guidance, which is nothing but recommendation. Similarly, if you go to here, demand forecasting, which is forecast comes under prediction. Optimization comes under your automation. Again, this is prediction. This is recommendation itself is already it's a recommended action. This is nothing but your automation. This is automation. This is again prediction. This is again prediction. This is again automation. And finally, demand supply chain management and automation. So like this, you have automation, copilot kinds of things, which will be there as part of this one. So you have to be very clearly identify, differentiate the AI types here, which maps the business problems properly to AI categories and which things like AI function consultants, these are all pretty important for you. Okay. So for example, let's say for a case one, I'm giving you case scenario also, intentionally tricky like that. You can think, sir. So the system, the smart invoice processing, if a system reads invoices, extracts data and directly posts entries into SAP without human intervention, what can be your think on that? Is it an use case or a category? What is the reason of it? It's an automation. Why? Even though AI is used, the final action is fully automated. For example, fraud alert system is there. Now here, system flags suspicious transactions and sends alerts to finance team for review. Now it comes under which category? Prediction, because it does not stop the transaction. It only predicts the risk. That's it. Right? Next, for example, HR example, if I can take, I'll quote two examples. Hiring assistant tool. What is this? It's an assistant. It will show top 5 candidates ranked based on the job fit score. Now, what is this about? This is a recommendation because it suggests, it and it not decides it. Okay. In the similar way, HR chart assistant, it comes under co-pilot. As you know, chart assistant is a co-pilot. How many leaves do I have? You ask something, it will respond something. So that it assists interactively, not predicting or automating the process. Coming to SCM also, one more example I'll give you. Auto purchase order creation. So system predicts the demand and automatically creates the purchase orders without approval, right? So, which means the automation function, this is even though prediction exists, final action is automated, right? So like this, many cases you can think on this and you can identify, you can make into which category this will comes into picture. Okay, that is what about our lab exercise 2, which I have done for you. And then the third important lab exercise mentioned is build a simple AA opportunity checklist for one business process. Nothing to be need for system for this, but you have to understand and you have to make something on this. So let me show you that one also, a simple AA opportunity checklist. So what do you mean by opportunity checklist? Which means you have to evaluate whether a business process is good candidate for AI using a simple structured checklist or not. That is what you have to do. Okay. So how you have to do this ample and what is a reusable template? I tell you every single thing on this. So you will get it clearly everything. I have the template. I'll show you that right. Okay. But let's understand what does this AI opportunity checklist will contain. First one will be your process characteristics. So you have to identify into this, is the process repetitive, yes or not? Is it manual and time consuming? For everything, yes or not? Okay. Similarly, does it involve large volumes? Because process is what we get from this only, right? So I'm also opportunity checklist you have to maintain like this. So with this, what happen? You get strong candidate for automation based on yes or no's. Okay, you'll come to it. I'll just show you an example also right now. And then again, you have to do it on data availability. So what you can do on data availability, guys? The first important thing is the invoices available. That means in which format? Like, I can ask a question like onto this checklist, invoices available in digital format is the first question you have to ask in the process checklist. In the data availability checklist. In the data, what is the other thing we generally check for? Is historical data available? And next, what is the other data question you can, checklist question you can make? Like, is data structured or not, or unstructured, or semi-structured, whatever you can call it, right? So this is on to the data availability. Next comes business value. Like, for example, you can say, can it reduce processing time? Can it reduce errors? Can it save operational cost? These are all gives you a high ROI potential. Then you have to make for one of the other important thing, which is AI feasibility. So on to AI feasibility, what is that you have to make it? Can AI read documents like OCR or natural language processing, whatever it might be? Can patterns be learned from past invoices like that? Is detection logic replaceable? I'm just mentioning few main ones. You can think of many ones like this, but it's a standard list. Is the dissection logic repeatable? So this will gives you a technical feasibility, like human involvement, risk complaints, integration readiness. So we have categories like this. So with this, what happened? The final evaluation, the process characteristic fit will give you results like strong or not, data readiness will be given, business value given, feasibility given, risk will be given. These are all you can take. So AI is a high potential candidate for your invoice processing. So we can see that and we can make this out. Like this now, I'm just putting you here. Just have a look on it. I have a template with me, which you can use it. See here, you can give the process name here and go for this. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. That's it. So I'm just holding the screen for a minute. Please have a look on it. So you can teach scores also once you get how many S and O's all there, which is suitable for AI, very low potential, low potential. These kinds of things also we can do it. Okay, like similar score categories, no, you can just try with this. You can mention some of these scores and everything on top of that as well, like this. So these are all the scores. These are all things which you can mention as part of a critique of us. Okay. So based on the total, you can mention similarly like SCM and everything also on top of that. Okay. This is how you can build a simple opportunity checklist for one business process. The same thing, if you go for scoring level, you can write like this, like this. I have already given one checklist, right? Similarly, you can give this also. Based on the scorings, you can actually come to a score and you can mention the scores. For example, for finance level, I'm giving, I just gave you a similar one only. Like you can take like this. Based on the scores, you can go to a command like this. Like you can have a scores. Onto this, we can give it. So based on the final score, we can come to a conclusion. So we can keep one range, 30 to 35 high, 35 to 30 medium, less than that low. So fire study A type will be high or medium or low. Based on this, you can evaluate it. This is how you have to evaluate your in opportunities checklist. Okay. So with this, next one we can go for is the similar checklist. I can show you is for HR also. You can keep like this, and for this one we call the demand planning SCM. Similar things we can give it as per the thing. The scores can be done. Okay. So this is how you can do it. I'm just holding a screen for a while and then I speak on about on this. So it's up to you whenever you want to convert this into Excel thing also you can do it. But the final outcome for this is always remember guys to quantify the AI opportunities and to compare the processes objectively basically. So think like AI solution consultants, not just learners. You're learning something okay. But think you are a consultant and try to make it out. If you're thinking like a learner, you will never get what is there in the system. Okay, you have to be thinking more than that. Okay. So now let me show you a few more things also onto this. A similar Excel also I'll show you here. Okay, prepared an Excel for this. See here, neatly the process name, the process characteristics 0 to 5, data availability. Again, you can give those conditions and put the 0 to 5. The business values, AI feasibility, human dependency, risk and compliance, integration readiness. So based on this, you will give 0 to 5 some scores, right? You will get some score. And whether it is fit or not, you will get. For example, process name. You can give some process. Let's say invoice process, invoice automation. So onto this process, let's say on the character, I told you clearly what is what everything, right? So onto that, you can use scores 3, 3, I mean 4. I'm just giving randomly 4, 3, and then 6. Doing something you can get 8. See here, sorry, no 8, right? Sorry. This is 3 again. This is 3. So see, automatically this is modified, right? There is a formula here. Based on that, you can write it. So I need the AI fitment is moderate for this. So you have to always be careful. You have to remember these points, whatever I told. That is why I clearly explain you every single thing here. If you see all my readiness and everything, see, this is the opportunity to explain you. So based on this questions, you have to make the rating on that, and final rating will decide what you have to do with that one. Clear? So one second. Okay. So as a whole, I can explain you. I can tell you as a whole. If you are going for the decision rule framework, always keep in the mind, if AI does the task itself, it is an automation. If AI predicts something or something unknown, it's a prediction. If AI suggests the best option, then it's a recommendation. If AI interacts and assists user, then it's a co-pilot. Okay. So always keep it in the mind, and all these activities also keep it in the mind. Based on that, you can use and type an FXs there, and you can, make the fitment also on top of that. Okay. So that's it. Thank you.
Hey, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training? That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Well, now we are going to learn the second chapter, AI for finance consultants. So here we understood for finance consultants, and some of these activities will go one by one here. Okay. So let's go with what is AI for finance consultants, and we'll understand one by one on all two these things as well. Okay, small disclaimer before we go here. So this is the agenda for class. So exploring AI applications, understand how automates high value finance workflows, and learn how AI improves the cash flow and receivables management. Discover how, one second, let me go through it once. Yeah. So this one. All right. The first one, AI transforms the traditional finance into intelligent applications, as we already know that. So when we are talking about, because on finance level, we have a lot of things that it will help you, like in accounts receivable or accounts payable or GL or something. So these are all things we are going to learn it. So all the process will be transformed or automated with the help of AI. So on to the next one. Yeah, high value workflows in automation. Either you go for invoice matching and exceptions, or either you go for payment clearing and matchings, or either you thought of, like automated workflows for, like strategies and different things that you want to work on. So all these things can be done on this part of automation task. Okay. Here, finance KPIs will be there, wherein which it's either your invoice processing or your machine learning matching algorithms, or which is cost per invoice process reduces through automated workflows. So a lot of KPIs will be there, which will be help you for your proactive collection strategies, and to our risk control approvals also. There are many things like audit rights, data privacy rules, and like automation speeds with compliance controls will be added for this. Okay, so you can see this is one of the examples I have already quoted you for the earlier classes. Different as finance, what do you call, the applications or some things on top of that. So into this will also be working for you or helpful for you on this axis. So we will understand those ones more clearly also one by one, starting this one. To deal with these accounts payable, let's understand first of all AI in finance level. So in the accounts payable, the intelligent automation, anyway, like core problem, if you can consider, like a manual invoice processing that has some errors and delays. If you can consider that, the AI applications in especially onto that, the AI applications like, invoice, OCR, plus like the combination of classification for unstructured to structured data, or auto account assignments, or duplicate invoice detections, or payment prioritization using cash free forecast. So these things will be get. So these are the AI applications which you can understand. As an SAP example, in SAP S4 HANA with embedded AI, so you can create the supplier invoice, which in which AI extracts the data from the PDF, and it can suggest the coding based on historical postings as well. So high value automation will be there, like 70 to 90% touchless invoice postings and reduce fraud risk for anomaly detections can be happen on top of this. That is whatever I have spoken is on the AP level. So when you go to the AR level also, so we have a lot of expected things are there. Like you can see, these are all different expected things are there. I'm just going one by one here. Let me go into this. Okay, now we have seen this, like invoice captured in classifications, how it does. Okay, and then the intelligent invoice matching is applications where it will matches the invoice and does the process accordingly on top of that. So duplicate anomaly detection is also one such feature where it will scan the historical data, keep it ready with your duplicate, and identify the duplicate invoice and start, like anomalies detection, like unusual and suspicion vendors kinds of things, it will do it. The same things happened with your routing of AP exceptions also. Now, whatever I have just told you in the AP, either create supply invoice or AI extract from PDF, suggest coding based on historical postings. This all comes from that only. So when we are specifically speaking on the AR also, in the AR specifically, we talk about delayed payments and poor follow-ups, right? So all the AI applications, what you can see here is like, your customer payment predictions, your intelligent dunning prioritizations, or your automated personalized reminders or dispute classifications, all these things comes under that. So the impact on cash flow will be always, you can improve the DSO. That means the day sales outstanding, and predicts the cash inflow with a higher accuracy. So any SAP scenario here, the A suggests customer A likely to delay, either it will escalate. If it is B to will pay, no follow-up needed. So this kind of suggestions will be there for SAP scenarios on top. Okay. So in the similarly like GL also, if we can see general ledger intelligent accounting also, high volume posting will be the core problem, or else sometimes the reconciliation effort is also something you have to take care of that. So AI applications at this level, if you can see, the journal entry anomaly detections or auto reconciliations or smart approval suggestions or pattern based posting recommendations, these are all things comes under AI application. So SAP, a real time example, like your AI identifies unusual postings versus historical trends, and sometimes the missing approvals at period and also maybe one of the things here. So the major outcome for you for this is the faster closing cycles and higher audit confidence will be there. So with this, we can easily go to evolve on top of those things, which you can make that out. Okay, that is one important thing. Even this is the one which I have told the financing and the controlling level also you'll be having predictive and perspective insights. Whenever you have the reactive decision making is there, like either you do cost prediction models or profitability simulations or budget forecasting using ML, a variance root cause analysis, all this thing comes under it. So at times, as a use case, we might see why did cost increase? AI explains some of the drivers and material labor overhead and SAP integrations like real-time analytics in SAP Analytics Cloud or predictive planning, what if simulations. So these are all things comes as part of it. So AI for high value finance works, it will be a total. Either you call it as an invoice processing or a collections or financial closure or reporting. So from traditional kind of manual to with AI, you can do a lot of auto extractions, parallel predictions and dynamic insight driven target intelligent actions. So these things can be easily been done on top of that. Okay. Like altogether, AI suggests to call the high value, things, it will send automated reminders, ignore the low risk with pay anyway kind of things. So which will predict your incoming payments, identify the high risk customers and optimize the collection strategies as well. So this is how the AI will be happens, even in close financial closures, anything, it will comes one by one on top of. So cash flow and receivable support also, I just told to you, this will analyze your historical payment behaviors and based on that, it will analyze your risk and everything. So predicting delayed payments, just I told to you how it will do it and prioritizing the collection actions. Once they prioritize the workloads of account receivable collection items, so it will start, like evaluate that, and high value invoices and what are at default and what are at risk. And based on that, it will gives you instructions on whom to reach in what to kind of activities. It is called what if analysis, which I have spoken to you. So segmentation for collections also, it will give you, like it will group the customers based on that customer need gentle or strict reminders, low risk customers, high risk customers, a group that and accordingly the things will go, like if you can see on top of the screen. Just I'm holding a screen how this will go for the collection strategies here. I'm just hanging the screen for a moment, just go through it once again. So yeah. Yeah. Next is AI assisted dunning recommendations. As you have seen here, yes, AI assisted dunning recommendations is one of the other thing that you can see here. Okay. So sometimes, as everyone knows, dunning reminding customers to pay overdue invoices, right? So instead of sending reminder after 7 days to everyone, AI answers who should I contact, how, with what tone to maximize the recovery. These kinds of things. So the core AI capabilities in dunning will be like, the customer payment behavior predictions can be happen. Like AI models the analysis, like, past payment patterns, invoice the size and frequency, industry trends and everything. Like you can see in India also, right now, you can see all the income tax notifications are generated through AI only. So it's not a manual generations now these days. So it is doing that, even though it's like kind of dunning, right? Like where they're sending pay the taxes who are not getting paid, or there someone has allegedly paid some taxes wrong. A low tax they have showcased and paying the low tax and skipping the amounts, all these kinds of things, which is through customer sections and legal bindings also happening. This is all going faceless. The term they called as faceless. Similarly, here also the dunning will be happen on top of that. The probability of delays, the expected payment dates, and all these things, will be like taken care on. So in SAP, similar SAP based AI dunning scenarios, we will be primarily using S4 HANA and Joule. So like in step one, if we ask Joel, show customers with highest collection priority, the AI might output the ranked customer list or risk score or suggested actions and all these things. So action suggestions maybe again you can call a customer, you can send an email, or you can ignore the customer Z, to pay on top of it. So this is why the traditional dunning, you might do fixed rules, you might go same message to all, you might give a panel prioritization, high effort kinds of things. But in AI assisted dunning, dynamic intelligence or your personalized communications, automated ranking, the high efficiency, these are all the things that will come as part of that. Okay. So that is what you will do as part of AI assisted dunning recommendations. And for the financial closure and report assistance, I already spoken to you about that. Let me reiterate on the same point now here. So the financial closure, like there are many scenarios, examples that will come under part of this. But yes, main capabilities for this here, your fast close, which will reduce from days to hours, the automated reconciliations and narrative reporting, where you go for AI generated insights and a lot of variance explanations where you not just numbers. For example, revenue is dropped 8% due to region X decline and product by demand shift. So these kind of scenarios will go in top of that. So within the Joule also, if you go on a scenario on the financial closure, for example, user might ask, hey, close the books faster. So Joule or SAP AI, it might give you listing the pending task, highlighting the blockers, suggesting the automation steps, kinds of things. So at reporting level also, like when you say the user might ask, explain the revenue variance. So Joule might ask you or tell you, it generates the insight summaries, points to root causes and all these things. So this is how we write, it will be helpful for you in the financial closure and the reporting assistance. So variance explanation support. So what does this mean? Like you're just nothing but answering why did numbers change? AI turns this from your manual investigation to an instant data-driven insight. Like what AI solves here, that is called the traditional approach, like downloading reports, comparing the periods, asking the multiple teams, build explanations manually, which is what slow, subjective, and error prone. And AI approach is what automatically detecting the variances, identifying the root causes, generates the business ready explanation. So all these things are nothing but your AI approach. That is what the variance explanation support. And journal entry reviews, just I already talked to you about the general ledgers. That way it will be showing you whatever the anomaly spotting in the close activities are there, that will be, like detects unusual balances or it compares with the historical data and do the decision making accordingly. This is the summarizing finance reports, how it will be looking for you. Just holding a screen for a minute, please look at it. So finance co-pilot scenario, as I just showed, the Joule, which is an intelligent digital assistant. So it might integrate directly into standard. The users basically interact with complex financial data. Copilot bridges will be there that might gap between technical systems and business use sometimes, that might go with the great learning curve, and new finance expertise also comes into picture. So this is what is all happens. And natural language business questions also comes like this. Like you can see some of this why, what kind of scenarios, which the co-pilots can answer on top of that. So this will retrieve the finance insights also quickly. Like co-pilots, as you know, it pulls up the vendor balance, the customer credit limits, and gives you instant details and all these things also. The consultants can spend less time searching and more time on analyzing. That is the more important things here. So drafting explanations and actions, wherever the co-pilot draft professional emails or the summarize your account histories, or sometimes human in the loop ensures an accountability for all AI generated finance actions. So all these kinds of things, it will be done by SAP or SAP Joule, or specifically SAP AI or embedded AI on top of that. Okay. And then, so these are the key takeaways for us. Like one is the automation of heavy AP workflows, the predictive analytics that is transforming the AR or AP or GL, AI accelerating the month-end closures, and generative AI summarizing the complex financial reports, and finance co-pilots, which are enabling the conversational interactions with the enterprise financial data. So these are all the key takeaways. So this is about the AI for finance consultant. So now let me go into the practical parts of it. So I will walk through invoice exception handling scenario. So let's me go into this. Okay. So walk through how AI detects and resolves invoice exception. Okay. See, in all these cases, how AI detect and resolve invoice exceptions using your S4 HANA and SAP Joule, right? So a supplier invoice is received with price mismatch, with quantity mismatch, with missing the PO reference, right? So system should what? It should detect the exception, recommended actions, and help users resolve quickly. So we should create a purchase order. We should be able to upload the supplier invoice. We should detect the AI should detect the exception. System automatically flags the mismatches. Invoice differs from PO 20%, 30%. And what should I do with this invoice? It might give you some sort of things on top of that. Okay. So this is all it will be doing for this. So let me show you this one. So here are some of the steps are already there. So yeah, now just going to this. So we will demonstrate the AI data extraction. Like, you can open the SAP Fiori Launchpad. You can navigate to manage supplier invoices app in there. And you can upload a sample PDF invoice provided. Okay, whatever it will be in the materials or not. You can do it also, not an issue. How SAP document the information extraction will be there. You can point out the extracted fields on the screen also. Okay, you can identify the exception, like you can trigger the exception. You can simulate or post and extract invoice draft, and system will show hard error for you, whether it's fraud, logged, or payment. We can expand the system and see that, and then you can navigate to invoice details page. You can see the AI generate exception summary, and then highlight whatever it is actually showing for you. And you can use AI to investigate the root cause of it also. Okay, so let me show you these ones. Whatever is possible, I can show you in this. Okay, just give me a moment. System is still working on this. Let this open. This file is still opening. So this way, it's this SAP S4 HANA Joule. We need this Fiori Launchpad with the SAP's what do you call the Joule icon. It is still not coming. Just wait a moment. It's very simple. I'll show you this. Just give me a moment. Sometimes. So one of this one is, you can see these are the purchase orders, everything, but you need the Joule icon also here, which can actually help you on this. Just observe the screen just a moment. I'll just keep it for you now. So you can do this one. I'm showing you how you can, I'm just taking the trial of this one here, some of the other IDs. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll do one thing. So you can submit the suggestion here, except create. Can we start just shopping the shape for a minute in the interest of security of my IDs. So basically, for new accounts, we might give the right details of it. So you can do this one. We'll be showing some sort of things there. So you can just do that. Okay, so we can try our accounts here, not an issue for this. So sometimes, this will be a different thing. When we are unable to do at certain instances, you can just take the help of SAP support. I'm just taking that 1 minute. I'm just going to show you this one. Okay, all right. So let me share this one with you. All right. So now let me share my screen. Yeah, almost done. I'm just giving take some submitting traffic. I just generated something, a new dummy image here. So let me show you that to you guys. So for your purpose, and then I'm just showing you can actually share this one also. So this is a free trial. I'm just going to show you because it is there actually in server of the Joule will be there here. So when you go with this one, so I just gone to the comment, it will share you something with your ID, and then you can activate this one. Once you activate this one, so you can set some password also here. Once you're done with this, and you can try that. So you can see something like this. Once you're done, access all resource and everything. Okay. So we can close this and try not submit this. Okay, so this will take little time for this. SAP will give you some instructions of IDs and passcodes on. That's it, nothing more than that. So you can try with this one. And when you want to try this pre-tries, it will be the same case for you. So you just see your trials and agreements also. Okay. And then it'll be okay for you. It's a privacy statement also you can see here. Okay, because this is all SAP level. You have to check all these experiences, right? So you have to go through it, and then it will take little time for that. Yeah, before that, I'll explain the scenario also. So what are we going to do on this, okay, until we get something onto this one. So into this scenario, specifically, we are going to walk through. That means, what is the objective by using Joule to identify, step by step, I want to show you, an invoice exception handling scenario, right? So access SAP Joule, and we have to identify here. What you have to do is, to do this exercise, you have to access SAP Joule and identify the exceptions, basically. First one, that is the first step. And second step will be, you have to investigate the specific exception. Okay. And then you have to review the AI assisted recommendations. And then finally, you have to execute the recommended solutions. Solutions or resolutions, whatever it might be, you can do that. So on the first step here, we will be start by identifying the problematic invoice directly during the conversation interface. Like once you log into SAP S/4HANA Cloud, you can see the Fiori Launchpad and all these things, right? So from that, you'll be having the Joule icon, and you can just simply show my invoice errors in the company code, so into company code, like that. You can provide that. Let me, this came. See here. This is R1 on the Joule. Okay, let me put the other here. Was this? Okay, now thanks. Okay, so now to at least for trying this now, go for that. Okay, so this is not still gone. So it will take a little time for this. Okay, let's do this. Same thing here. Okay, we have to wait until that, we get this one. Okay, so once the server is up, we will continue with the session. Thank you. Here, we are going to discuss about the important part. The second part of the practical instance that we're going to discuss about. Okay, so let me show you. We share my screen on this. See here, we on to this. All right, open the server for you. Yes. All right, now whatever you are seeing here, right? So this is where we call the HANA features. Whatever I have told to you right the other day, we can see the leveragement, or sometimes whatever we want to say, and like when you go for, we have to, whenever you want to see this invoice exception handling scenario with AA extended recommendations, and this is the invoice exception handling scenario only. If you can see this, let me open this also. Yeah, see this is procure to invoice, basically we call this. So in this procure to invoice, this is an SAP's thing, but I'm just showing it as example here. So see here, if you go to here, you can just go to the procurement. All right. So here we will go to the manage purchase order. So if you go to this manage purchase order app, right? So you can see various filter options here as mentioned here. Now we can just go for create. So we can see this one, what type of data we can enter. So onto the supplier, let's say TRL07, you can take the currency relevant for it. Okay. Now the material and plant 1710. So add from document or you can directly add from here. You have to add this documents, let's say purchasing group and purchasing organization. Okay. So this is how we'll create on top of this, right? So this is how I was just showing you how we can create purchase order. You can choose the order, you create the purchase order. You can see these are all these things will be there. You can just low interest invoicing party and everything is whatever required, you can put it and you can just order this. Okay. So basically these orders will not be exist as we use some server issues here. But yes, this is how we generally create. But to the Joule, when you see this, like quantity Joule, what is the expectation? So we have to just find a walkthrough of an invoice exception handling scenario, right? So in AI assisted recommendations, let me show you this one. Clearly, I'm showing you the invoice exception handling scenario. Basically, you can say the account discrepancies, exception types, duplication invoices, missing documentation, tax and compliance issues, late invoices, quantity mismatches, coding errors, all these things will come as part of it. Okay. So, for example, one of such is this is through Joule we will do, right? So, this is all public cloud. And that to want to show you, I just show you that one. See here, Joule is there. Okay, new conversation. Say hello. Okay. And then let's say you can ask like this. For example, if you don't know, first of all, what is amount discrepancy? So it will show you what is amount discrepancy refers to and what it means. And then if you want to like understand, like can you show invoices with the amount discrepancies? Okay. So find all supplier invoices such way it will ask you. So this is what I told you. This is how we can actually go to the invoice exception handling scenarios with AI based recommendation. Now find all supplier invoices. See, like this, you'll get all the recommendations. Okay. Now you can go to the each supplier and then you can check whether the discrepancies exist or not directly. If system has that right, sometimes organizations might block you, so you cannot see. You can see like this. What is the purchase document number? How much of amount has been done. So like this, you can actually analyze that. Okay, it's as simple as that. So you can see the taxes, you can see the payments, unplanned delivery costs at times, attachments also. So whatever general information that you want, you can leverage it from this. Okay, from the entrance. This is one such way you can do it. Okay. This is the first one, like invoice exception handling scenarios with AI based. You can accept whatever the exception handlings you want. You can try from here and you can make it. Okay. Next, you can ask this one, like, as part of lab 2 exercise, it was given review a simulate overdue receivables. So overdue receivables, right, you can do from the system generally. Let me check for this here. For example, if you go to the main app itself, overdue receivables today. So this is the screen for you. So this is your overdue receivables by due period generally, right? So if you see this one, you can actually go with customer. For example, if you want top 10 customers receivable chart, see here. So you can expand this and expand this, or else you can just close this. You can reopen again one more time. See the chart data now here. So we have lot of suppliers here, right? Customers here. So by customer with their codes, how much of overdue is there, you can see. If this information it is so graphical, if you want to see this one in a tabular format, you can still go to here. The tabular format also will be showcased to you. So this one is by customer, by company code also, you can see this lines. So similar way, this is where, here it will give you. This is what you have to do. Review a simulated overview receivable. This is a dashboard. Okay. You can say collection actions, means what actions you can do. For example, you can see, for example, in this by company code table, if you go to this is a table, right? Or else let's say by company code at a chart level. Okay, now let me go with this one by customer chart. So you can see all the customer, right? So you have to prioritize collection actions on top of it. So collection actions means what you do, overdue amount, how much is this one, right? How much this amount is there. Okay. So you can see Here it is the most first due period is the most one. 721.32K US dollars are there. So this one we have to collect it. Okay, now we can ask through Joule also this one. So for example, Silver Star Corp in overdue receivables, what is the highest overdue and for which customer? Okay, or else we can say analyze overdue receivables, identify the 10 customers with highest overdue amounts. So sometimes, few things will not be showcased to you directly, even though we ask that. It's saying access the app only because through access app only it is telling. Okay. You can ask, can you give prioritizing actions, prioritizing collection actions? I think these are all the collection strategies. Now Joule has given you all the manage invoice prediction route. So this app will help you there. So this is for your purpose. I'm just showing you what is available. So if this is there, you can see that one as well. This one. So in this app, you can go and check it, or else you can directly go to other apps also where it has been provided to you. So like this, you can add the apps which are not there in the app finder also. So this is where like you can keep it. So account prioritizing rules again. So manage rules and collection process, collection strategies. Okay, these are all different things are there. Okay. So the collection management level, you can do all these prioritizing collection activities. That's how we can do it. So that's what a small lab activity for you to how to review simulate this overdue and prioritize the collection actions further. Okay. And next, the third lab is analyze a sample month-end variance report and use AI prompt to generate business explanations. So this is simple. So you have to analyze a sample month-end variance report, right? So let me show you this. When you go to here, see revenue variance sales is there. Anything you can consider, anything you can go ahead with that. There is no, so this is just a lab access for you. Just you have to understand what is it. Simple. Okay, so this is a revenue variance report. Have you see this? For the sales, you can display the currencies here. Let's say you will go with some US dollars here. Okay. So I'm taking the US dollars here. Physical year, let's say 2025. Okay. Physical period, or yeah, you can take between 1 to 12. Okay. The planning category, actuals you can take, and financial statement version. Okay. So leave about everything is other as it is. Like this, you can just analyze this. There is no data in this. Okay. So there are charts are there. If this data is there, it will be showcased because there is this new system to might be data is not existing. But generally, we will be having some revenue, some COGS and gross profits will be there. Operating expenses will be there. Operating income will be there. Okay. So the revenue variances, sample revenue data you can generate the product sales and all these things. So you can explain, you can see, from AA prompts, what type of things you can do. I'll be explaining you. Like, for example, explain why product sales exceeded budget kind of scenarios I can just show you. For example, can you help me on product variance analysis? So you can see it will help you analyze. Let me know what. Okay, open app and open the relevant app you can say for this. So there will be limitations as I said, Yeah. So variance analysis, if there is not there, you can say yes and see what happens on it. This is how we can see the instructions. We can search for this app variance analysis and we can see these relevant things also on top of that. Okay, so basically we have limited variance analysis app in this. So only this one, only the analysis. And so analysis there you can go. So like this, you can get the help on this and you can do further things on that. Okay, so that's what you can do on that variance analysis. And finance use case sheet for APR and thing. Let me show you that also here. Some of the finance use cases I'll just show you here. Go to here. So I'll show you some finance cases related to statement to T accounts, monitor, manage receivables, create and dispute, these kinds of things also. So especially onto the AI Copilot, you can see a few things on top of the, the financial business insights with AI, SAP Business and Cost Center Review booklet, taking the machine learning in daily business kinds of things. Few things I'll just show you now. One by one, let me show you this. Okay. So see here, we have limited features on this, a new version. So let me choose finance here. So the financial control is here. The cost center review booklet will be there. It will be the cost centers review booklet app. Click on there. It gives all the data insights and summarization through natural language expressions. Okay. Let me click on that one more time. This is your cost center review booklet. You can see the reporting date. I'm just changing this to 31/12/2025 as described here. 13/12/2025. The company code as 1710. So let's say the cost center hierarchy is with Velotics, or you can directly check from the system. This one, which is already there here, and hierarchy, this one we can pick and go. So you see what year to date comparison in this, right? You can see all the year to date comparison in even earlier variance reports also, they look similarly like this. So this is the value held. Okay, take the primary cost here, say okay, go. You will see the differences are here. These are all primary costs. See, personal expenses, training, utility, purchasing, everything here. Okay. And here also you can see the cost occurred in period compared with previous fiscal year period also. You can finally observe that. Okay. So now here you can see the business insights. So here you have this ones. This is the business insights where you can see the recommended business insights and compare and summarize. So you can see this AI is generating quickly all these things now. What is this? What is happening? Taxes, rising, everything. Okay. This is important for you for decision. You can look in the quarterly view. You can go for the layout icon. This is a layout icon. So you can format those ones, okay, with all the default ones and everything here. Okay. And then go for this, close again. If you want again, go to the identify cost centers with high deviation. So these will be there. This is your cost centers with high deviation. Okay. Similarly, you can go for the next one. See, this is the way. If you want to go for another one, identify the drivers for high deviation. Why it is high, the drivers for that. So these are the drivers for. Okay. So this is how you do one of these important things. Then similarly, you can see the AR AP also. Go back to this one. So it's total receivables, overdue receivables, overdue payables also. This is the overdue receivables, just as of I have already shown to you by customer, who is the top 10, like, by customer, by company code also, you can see that. Going here, overdue payables. Like this, you can put for company code level also. And you can go into by supplier, whether the supplier is critical or you can get into the knowledge worker. Here, so based on the supplier also, you can get all these details. Okay. So similarly, lot of APAR stuff is there. So you can ask anything in this. If you go to the finance specifically, you can see that. So onto the finance, see all the accounts payable, all the account receivable. These are all the principal people. Okay. So if you go to the aging analysis, you can ask anything on top of this. Okay. Okay. Let me check for you. Manage lane blocks. Go. Okay. Now, what is the blocked amount of the supplier? Let me ask like that. To Joule. What is the blocked amount of supplier 171 00088 for company code 1710? Like this type of questions we can ask to the Joule, saying manage or guide on how to use this app. Okay, fine. How you can help on blocking the invoice. So yeah, few things wherever the authorizations are there, everything is there, it will help you. If not, it will guide you how to do on top of that. So that's how it will be workable for you. Okay. The next, so this is way the finance use case sheet for APR and close process will be there, and you can leverage from it. Okay. But similarly, if you go to the this one, which is onto the finance receivables, okay. Let's say days outstanding is there. Manage customer line. Go for this. So you see heavy data on this, right? Can you clear? We'll ask like this. Can you clear a customer line item? It will guide you. Okay. So it will guide you, provide you the instructions of it. In this way, you will take the recommendations also. This is how, it will help you. Someone is there. For certain cases, it will also directly clear on those invoices. Or as you can see, can you show me the cleared line items for this month? See, we have found, right, all the list of. Can you show me cleared line items for this month? It showed list of all the invoices that were cleared. Okay. You can go to these invoices and you can see what is there. For example, this invoice open, so it will display the billing documents of each invoice. So like this, you can see how much of amount and everything. You can display that and accordingly you can take action on this. Okay. So this is the standard way which you have to follow for this public cloud level, whatever I just told you, right? All these either invoice exceptions or overdue receivable simulation or sample month and variance reports for AM prompts and finance use case sheets like this API close process. All these things will be there as part of that. Okay. So in the next class, we will understand about the HR consultants and we'll see some of those routine things on top of that as well. Okay, thank you.
Hey there! Want to learn how AI can improve business work? Our SAP AI for Functional Consultants course is here to help. You can learn anytime at your own speed on our platform. In this course, you'll learn how SAP AI works in real business projects. It helps companies automate tasks, improve decisions, and work faster with smart tools. Our course covers everything you need, from AI basics to advanced SAP AI concepts. It is designed by experts with real industry knowledge and project experience. Your trainers are skilled professionals who have worked on many SAP projects. They will guide you step by step and answer all your questions clearly. And don't just trust us. Our learners really enjoy this course too. Many students like you have used this training to improve their SAP and AI skills for better career growth. Best part? This valuable learning opportunity is simple, practical, and affordable for everyone. Ready to become a SAP AI functional consultant? Join our course today, and for more details, visit ZaranTech website.
Hey all, welcome to the session. This is on module 3. We are on right now on the module 3. So onto the module 3, we'll be basically seeing the AI for HR consultants, wherein which we'll understand how this will be helpful for HR consultants. A small disclaimer before that. So AI for HR consultants basically, as you know, for finance how it will be useful. Similarly, the same way it will be useful for the HR in a HR moderation cases where they are looking for to support on that. Okay. So it might be our agenda will goes with understanding the AI applications for success factors, balance employee experiences, or explore those use cases and maintaining the functional ownership on top of that, ethical governance, and all these things will be as part of that. Okay. Two more particular about the AI integration significantly enhances the capabilities of HR consultants, and it will transform the human resources, basically the functions within the organizations, particularly it is when leveraged with SAP solutions like SAP success factors and BTP kind of thing. So the synergy generally allows for the automation of routine tasks. It will be a more improved decision making, through data analytics and the optimization of various HR processes from recruitment to talent management. So for SAP consultants, this is very important. That means an evolving role, generally it will be focused on integrating your AI driven automation and optimizing your workflows to achieve digital transformation basically. So like, AI in HR, it can improve your functions such as, such as the recruiting, the training, the employee engagement, retention, these kinds of things. So leveraging AI within the BTP also, it can boost the efficiency, accuracy and scalability in HR operations. So AI virtual assistants, basically, they can support new employees with onboarding tasks and information retrievals and all these things. So SAP success factor side also, HCM offers AI-enabled solutions, that can allow HR leaders to manage an entire workforce from a single cloud platform. So the role of SAP consultants here is to evolve to include integrating AI-driven automation into the SAP solutions, and it will optimize the workforce for digital transformation also. So this is what it will do as part of that. Okay. So especially when you're talking about the use cases also here, AI-powered SAP solutions offer more numerous use cases. So for example, it might be recruitment and hiring, onboarding level, employee engagement and experience level, talent management and mobility level, HR service delivery level, workforce planning level. So these are all these different use cases you might see in this targeted thing. Okay. Now AI across the employee life cycle, you can see it might be a transformational impact or recruitment, onboarding, or learning development, performance management. HR level, these are all very crucial and important also, as we know that. Now balancing the experience with compliance, which is very important. So now when you have to balance this experience with compliance, which is very important, because when you're accelerating, specifically onto the critical challenges for HR consultants and organizations, so that involve regular maintenance of requirements will be there, but with all the creative, positive, engaging workplace environments. So you have to provide a comprehensive analysis of this balance. Like for example, it's an employee experience versus compliance framework. Like the challenge is to deliver the exceptional experiences while you have to adhere to the increasingly complex regulatory standards also. So that is much more important for you on top of this. Okay. So what are the other three important or four important points I want to highlight here is The flexibility and speed is one of the employment and experience focus, where the compliance focus on this is your rules and documentation. The strategic balance, where you get it from it, the flexible frameworks within the audit trail. In the similar way, personalization. When you talk about personalization on employee focus, the compliance focus will go to standardization on the personalization. So the strategic balance again goes with personalization with policy boundaries. In the same way, you can go for innovation and agility at the employee focus level. The compliance focus at that level will be always your risk mitigation. So the strategic balance again goes to where the controlled experimentation. So like this, there will be many points that you can actually go with it. And if it is generally writing by through any JSON, you can write it. Your equal employment opportunities, you can manage your major regulatory requirements, you can go with that. I just show you a sample JSON and people write directly on that. These are all the major regulatory requirements sample JSON. So you can see this is a sample JSON. Just have a look on it. This JSON will have all these important things that I have discussed with you right now. So sample JSONs we can write and we can make it out and on top of your environments. Okay. So you can design systems with all these strategic framework because this will harmonize the compliance on top of that. Okay. So that is one other thing which you can remember. And next one. So HR functional consultants must own a workflow design and testing at the functional ownership level because tech teams build the models, but consultants define the business rules, right? So what is the role that functional consultant determine? So where the decision required, what is the mapping that they have to do for success factors or module configurations, or the taking the ownership, sometimes it will prevent the violating of the established corporate policies and everything. So these are all those things which has to be considered when you are going for that one. So HR data, which will be more sensitive because the pay slips, the critical documentation, taxation documentation, or any confidential documents, all in the sensitive data will be with HR only, right? Along with finance employee data. And all these things, you have different state checkpoints. You have to protect the identities, some you have to carefully handle this data handling prevents of unauthorized exposures. So these things you have to be perfectly handled as top of it. Now, AI in talent acquisition, how this will be useful. As you know, for recruiters, basically they might get a lot of resumes, and they want to check which resume is actually suitable. See, every resume to go and through in different modes will be there. But if something reads it and tells it, it's very important, very easy for HR, to understand which resume is really good, which is having good skill set, matching skill set. So all these things will make them easy for screening. Okay. These AI tools were very broader right now in the talent acquisition because hundreds and tons of resume will come and it's not possible for us to go through each resume for any talent acquisition. So that's why they use this one. And yes, this will definitely pose a lot of value add on that. Basically, automation reduces manual administrative tasks here during your hiring life cycle, which will allows they can focus on candidate relationships and negotiation rather than on the these ones, which is one of the important things. So AI assisted resume screening looks like that. It extracts the key skills, experience, education from candidate profiles, and then it highlights the resumes that closely match the job description, and it will save the recruiters countless hours of manual document review time, which is true, right? And then candidate and job matching at that level, it will analyze the candidate profiles, matches the applicant skills and everything, roles and everything. Based on that, the matching will be improved as per the quality of the applicant talent pool, and it will select the candidates. That is why, like it should be more clear, people who are working and making things on top of that. The next one will be AI-driven question generation. So generative AI, it can instantly draft role-specific interview questions, skill-specific, job specific, anything, for the behavioral, technical, situational. So many things it will suggest. So based on that, it will be easy for the standardized interview process. Even you make automatic question and answers also for that, and it will automatically show you, and they can ask it and they can check it and verify whether they're really up to the mark. So there are co-pilots really help the recruiters, to write compelling job descriptions in seconds. So productivity workflows comes like that only. Summarizing the feedback notes of the interviews, creating, provide, giving the good job descriptions, because these are all getting AI, like when they're getting into it, they can easily make the work done. And then, finally, the output of the other handful work will be done. That's what they will do. So HR policy questions also, instead of HR speaking, if the AI is there, it will give you clarity. There is not clear, and then, they can go to the HR kind of things. Especially for the AA level, you can see the leave, benefits, and payroll support will be there. Guide employee self-services, escalations to teams, learning and development. Wherever the employee skill gaps are there, once they are given to what, it will identify those skills and, and gaps also. So that is how AI gives the learning recommendations, using success factors. It will, as per the candidate's profile, his interest, his current nature, current credibilities, and current technical capabilities and functional capabilities and mental capabilities, based on that, it might give you a personalized learning contents natively. So it curates the courses, which course to go, which one is best for him. It will be a more important, is that as a human screening, a machine human screening will be much easier for it to make it possible. So this is the internal mobility and role fit, which it will check it. I'm locking the screen for a minute, just have a look. And then AI supported development planning. So it will be some actionable, personalized employee development plans will be there, right? Generally to whom we are going for career progression. So they receive clear, these all can be easily automated for getting these plans, whom to be, what are the next plans for the improvement. If there is no improvement, what is the termination plan? How we can go for this, workforce engagement. So all these things comes under as part of that. So HR governance and ethical review, again, there are algorithms that can unintentionally perpetuate historical biases present in the training data as well as mentioned here. So functional consultants must audit all these outcomes for fairness and equity. So strong governance will be there that will protect the companies from all the legal and reputational damages. Okay. And mitigating the bias in hiring. So screening tools must not discriminate based on protected characteristics. That's very important. And consultant also, they have to monitor the algorithms for gender or racial or age biases, because the algorithm runs on what you are writing, right? So it should not be like that. So they should be properly monitored. That is why the governance comes into picture. So it will evaluate the candidates strictly on the objective experience, and regular bias audits also. AI recruitings are on completely absolute necessity. So that's how it will be work properly. So again, human in the loop, HITL recruitments. So it will make final hiring for these decisions autonomously, as it acts as an advisor, but humans hold the ultimate final decision. They have to make it. So it should not go only with machines. That is what the final thing you have to consider. Very especially in data privacy and explainability, because whatever the resumes, whatever the flow of data that you get it for, the personal data, it should be properly been, the privacy should be properly been done, and then it should comply with it, and then it should ensure HR can satisfy AI-driven recommendations to employee also. Transparency is very important here. So these are the key takeaways. Let's have a look on it, and then we can go to the lab practical. Okay. So once after this, we go to the practical now. So what are we going to see in the practical? More importantly, as part of this module 3, we will review a recruiter workflow and insert AI touch points in each stage. We'll design no-code HR copilot flow for answering employee policy questions, and evaluate simple AI outputs, and create skills based on learning recommendations of the internal employees also. Okay. So I can do all these things here. Now let me show you this one. Okay. The first exercise, understand the recruiter workflow and AI touch points, right? So now here to the practical part. The objective is what now for this? To understand, basically to understand how AI can enhance the each stage of the recruitment, right? So for example, you're a HR recruiter, you're hiring a SAP FICO consultant. Now, what are the traditional workflows you generally go? I'm writing clearly also for your understanding, because it's a practical. So we'll define traditional workflow like job requisition creation, right? Now to create that, and then job posting, shortlisting, interview scheduling, interview evaluation, and offer rollout. All right. So these are the defining of your traditional workflow items. But whereas for this, the AI touch points, when you have to insert, this is how you have to insert your AI touch points. Let's say this is the stage, this is your AI use case or touch point, this is the type. Okay. So to this same ones, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more item I have added here. Okay. These ones I'll keep it here. Okay. So what is the AI use case for this? AI generated JD using the skills plus role also. Okay. And then here auto optimized posting. Auto optimized postings. And for here shortlisting and resume screening. So job posting is done. Okay. One more thing we have added. So let's say here resume screening. So resume screening means nothing but you can do AA ranking plus matching score. This is one of your AA touch point. You can make it out. Okay. So I'll come to the type, and shortlisting is again bias. You're doing something right. So you should know bias aware filtering. And then interview scheduling, you have to go for AI calendar coordination. This is a touch point for it. For interview evaluation, AI exit feedback summary. And for offer rollout, salary benchmarking. Okay. So this is more of Copilot. This will be of recommendation. So this is screening is like a prediction. So this is nothing but automation. Again, this is also because you're scheduling something. This is automation and this will be co-pilot and then this will be recommendation again. Okay. So you can map SAP contact success factors to recruiting modules, Joule to JD creation, interview summaries, and SAP AI code to resume ranking model. Okay. So like you can take those cases into consideration. Okay. That is what we have to do as part of the main one, which is the lab one, which I just told you, right? Review the recruiter workflow and insert AI touch points. This is where in each stage I have given. Okay. Now, this is how you can review it. There is nothing to specifically you can see on the lab, but it's a document exercise which is there. I have just showed to you how we can do it. Okay. Now, next one, the lab two is design a no-code HR co-pilot flow for answering employee policy questions. Right. So, onto this, you can use build apps, you can use generative AI hub, you can use SAP AI Launchpad for orchestration. So, like this, you can use it. Okay. So, you can use those ones and you can try to make these ones also. Okay. So, what you can do simple, you can let me show you how many casual leaves I can carry forward. This is a question. Okay. So you can design a AI assistant for employee queries on top of this. You can define the input user questions in natural language. You can define the knowledge source for HR policy documents, PDF, all these things. Okay. So you have to design the co-pilot flow, like user asks question, AI passes the intent, your rack grounding, generate the answer, add citations and optional escalations. All these things you can do on top of that. Okay. So let me show you that how you can do it. Open this one. So let's make this second one, which we have seen HR Copilot. Just from agent, click there. It is a maintenance order one. Refresh the screen if it is not coming. Yeah, it's coming slowly. Just wait. So here, similar, you can write for this. Just a moment. Let me check this one. Or else you can create a new agent from this HR agent. So you can write something like this. This is for HR agent to evaluate the skills and experience of a candidate. Like instructions we can give. Okay. Check the resume and answer about the resume data. Like something we can write from the like this. Some resume we can print like this. Okay. And then give proper additional context, proper answers. Okay, your model, everything you will select. We'll keep this one. MCT servers required or not, you can keep it. Then you will say test it. So this will take little time because it will keep the model and everything, right? So you can directly download any files and skills on top of that. You can make it out. So a lot of things will be there. This is how you will go with it and you will write with it. Okay. So that's just after this, you can test these questions and you can ask it and it will answer the questions to you also on top of it. Okay. So this is how you will be building a no-code HR Copilot flows. This is how they build it. Okay. And if you want to evaluate this lab 3 exercise, which is mentioned in our course content, evaluate a sample AI output for resume screening and identify where human review is mandatory. Like this is where, if we see this kind of sample AI outputs, whenever it is giving, you can review it. Once you have practice on this, also you can do it. So on top of that, like any time when this is happening, we can go with some scores or you can identify the risk, penalizing the career gaps, career break reasons are ignored, or keyword based scorings or gender college bias. So all these things will come into that picture only. Okay. So you have to mark human intervention points like final shortlist or not, low score rejections, top candidates or not. So these things you have to take on top of that. Okay. And the last exercise is create a skill based learning recommendation scenario for an internal employee. So what is that mean is you can design AI driven upskilling recommendation. So employee is equal to SAP ABAP developer. Let's say goal is nothing but he is moving to SAP BTP or AI developer. So what is the thing that you have to do? You have to identify the current skills, which is like ABAP, CDS, UO data, identify the target skills, and AI should recommend some logic based on current role, based on the learning history, knowledge, demand. He can go to this course, he can go to this course kind of thing. So this is how you have to practice. You have to create a skill-based learning recommendation scenario like this. You can do this as part of your activity. Okay. So let me show you that also here, which we can do it. It's a new one. I'm canceling this one. I'm going back. This is locked. Let me refresh this. Okay. Now let me go to create Joule agent skill, employee skill. You can pick. We can practice, but everything can be shown here. You have to practice on your own things. Once we will show once already the things have been showed earlier also in exercises or relevant that. So like this, you will be coming to here. So you can create an agent directly, skill recommendation. Okay. This is skill recommendation to employee, right? So let this come, it's still loading. So let this load here. So we can write something like here, evaluating skills and recommendation. Like you can take any recommendations I told you, right? So we can write identify current skills, first one, and then we can identify the current targets. Okay. If input equal to ABAP, then recommend course. What course will recommend? Build code. Similarly, just copy paste this for number of times, just for our purpose. AI core, something I can write like SAP Joule. Okay. Provide neat and respectful CSV. Okay. OpenAI, best instance, tools, you can add tool, a Joule agent only, or Joule, or you can add document, basically documents here, you can add it. Okay. You can add some resource group documents and everything from here directly. So if that is not there, you can take a different tool here. You can just go for the Joule skill and agent output will be there. So here you can interrupt for this as well. Save this first of all. Nothing is required. Okay. Now we can test this. One error is there. What is that? An AI agent must have at least one tool. Okay. This tool is very important. Either we can give a skill or do something on top of this. Let's, for example, add tool, document skill or something. Okay. So we can add a Joule skill, create Joule skill, HR agent 1, or we have to add something relevant for it. To see here, we can add parameters like input, you will give what skill only, right? Skill. Okay, I'm just showing you how you can do this. And then output will be again skill and skill course like this. You have to make it. Okay. So once it is done, you can map skill to skill here and course to course and save this. Okay, it should have at least, because this design console at least have one activity. So let's put the activity here. These are activities which we can do from different actions, which you can get from that, from OData and all this data, right? You'll break it and you'll put it here. Okay, so for now, I'll do only one thing here, just for your understanding and showing you simply. That's it. And then save it. In the skill agent also, you will see that one, right? In the tool, we added this skill, right? Now, HR agent one. Like this, you have to add, create, and then save it. You can test it further. That's it. Let it come here. So this way you can actually release it and test it for the further levels as well. Okay, so you can deploy the for initial. So this is now finest. Okay, this is a shared environment, right? So you can do any standard environments here in that case, and you can deploy this. And any errors because it's of environment issues. That's it. Let this deploy first of all. Okay, you will see now this is deployed in okay, right? So these ones only you can see in the monitoring window, and you can see. You can see control tower. Okay, your environments. So on which environment have we did this right now? This one I think so, right? So you can see last updated this one like this. Joule, you can see. Yeah, which environment we have done? We have built which environment have we did this? S4HANA 2023, right? So go for that environment only into the Joule here. So from here you can launch that particular skill, employee skills here, right? Just tick it and launch it. Okay, might be it is not processing properly, so I get it. But usually you'll get something from the resume skill that we have done. So you might get some bindings and new actions or something. Employee HR, what you can kind of things and make it out. It's telling all these things, which is the bot is working for us in this list. Okay, now employee data. So it is not processing. Might be it some have issues in it, but usually it will provide it. So like this is how you come and check it in the Joule, and you will get it directly from that. Okay. So this is how you can see. So you have completed the all 4 labs in this. Okay, you can practice better and then you can just get these things done. Thank you.
Hey there! Want to learn how AI can improve business work? Our SAP AI for Functional Consultants course is here to help. You can learn anytime at your own speed on our platform. In this course, you'll learn how SAP AI works in real business projects. It helps companies automate tasks, improve decisions, and work faster with smart tools. Our course covers everything you need, from AI basics to advanced SAP AI concepts. It is designed by experts with real industry knowledge and project experience. Your trainers are skilled professionals who have worked on many SAP projects. They will guide you step by step and answer all your questions clearly. And don't just trust us. Our learners really enjoy this course too. Many students like you have used this training to improve their SAP and AI skills for better career growth. Best part? This valuable learning opportunity is simple, practical, and affordable for everyone. Ready to become a SAP AI functional consultant? Join our course today, and for more details, visit ZaranTech website.
Hi all. So welcome to the session. So class, we are going to learn on the main module of SAP AI for functional consultants in that module 3, which is module 4, which is AI for supply chain consultants. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen onto this. Just a moment. So we are on here. You say this in the desktop here. All right. So here you can see, yeah, it's a course material here. And you can see clearly the SAP, the fourth module, which is AI for SAP supply chain consultants, which we can use. We'll see all these things on top of that. Okay. So let me go into the main PPT for this. So you can see all these modules. I mean, we covered pretty on this, and then we're going for the supply chain for just for 90 minutes or so, because lab is also included in it. So we will be going more or less than that as part of these requirements only. Okay. So now, all right. Okay. So small disclaimer before we start for this. All right. So this is the agenda for this. So module learning outcomes. So AI across supply chain. Okay. So as we see here, definitely AI fits, AI supports in SCM, like end-to-end supply chain decisions, basically. Okay. So onto that, AI support to end-to-end supply chain decisions, especially in demand planning, or whether you can say the forecast accuracy improvements or procurement, or for the demand planning, basically, like it comes with your forecast accuracy improvements, or for the supplier procurement level, you can see the supplier selections and risk management level. On the inventory level, you can see the optimal stock levels. On the logistics level, delivery optimization, or at customer service, if you can say issue resolution. So these are all where all this SAM fits in the AI space. Okay. So these are the common supply pain points. You can see here. What are the common supply pain points? So basically, when you're talking about any manual forecast, or like the pain point you can see is more of demand uncertainty. It's the main pain point for you. So forecasts are often inaccurate, or sudden demand spikes will be there with seasonal promotions, external events. Over the reliance on historical data will be also there. These are all pain points. So the solutions for that is demand sensing using your real-time data. The machine learning models improve more forecast accuracies. So detecting the demand spikes, the low confidence forecast and all these things will come into picture. So this is one of the pain point, like overstock and stock outs, like, too much stock, high holding cost, too little stock, losing the sales, static safety stock rules. These are all comes under that only. Similarly, for that also, you can have the dynamic safety stock optimization, which is like real-time replenishment recommendations. You can get alerts for overstock or stock out kind of thing. Like one of the other pain point also, as you see here, the poor supply reliability, like, where late deliveries, quality issues, the stock, lack of visibility into supplier performance. These are all the things that comes into picture. So AI solutions also for this supplier risk scoring models, basically to predict the delay probabilities or supplier failure risk, or whenever we recommend the alternate suppliers, or like when you have the safer sourcing points, options, and all these things will comes into that picture. Okay, so these are the main things. And not only that, we can talk n number, like inefficient procurement decisions will be there, or as logistic delays and inefficiencies will be there. Lack of visibility across supply chain will be there. These are all, whatever has not been mentioned, I'm telling them also, these are all pain points. And for every pain point, we have an active solution also in the AI. Okay. So next one. So AI shift exception-driven operations. Now it's planners from routine reviews basically to this exception-driven daily operations. Like, its algorithms handle a lot of normal patterns. Users only review the anomalies and unexpected delays or high-risk forecast deviations. Sometimes we have exception focus, which was maximizing the strategic value of human planners also. These are all these things comes into exception-driven operations. Okay. And the important thing is improvising the responsiveness and speed. Supply chains, they must adapt quickly to sudden global market disruptions, and automated recommendations also on top of that, which is important for them. So they need a consistent speed and expect the service level on top of that. So that is where the demand sensing concepts are. It can use, as I just explained you, the recent daily order data, with historical averages, and no planners that react to certain consumer behavior, and consultants who should position them as a short-term accurate. These are all things comes into picture. Even forecast review and end exceptions also. So here, basically, AI highlights forecasts that deviate significantly from expected historical patterns. Means, first of all, what is forecasted review? A forecasted review is the process of checking demand forecast and correcting them wherever needed. So traditionally, planners manually review thousands of products and so often and many things, but time consuming and which is inefficient also for that. Okay. With AI, what happens is system automatically evaluates the forecast quality, and it highlights only the problematic forecast and high risk items. So planner focuses only on exceptions, not everything. So what are the forecast exceptions now? Like situations where forecast needs the attention. Like all your high forecast errors, demand spikes, demand drops, low confidence forecast, or outlier detection. These are all those things comes into picture. So which means, for example, high forecast error is there. So which is forecast is not equal to actual, which means what? You can predicted 100, sold 300, which is wrong, right? So this is called, and demand spike, sudden increase. Like you can see festival sales surge like anything, right? In the same way, demand drop, unexpected fall, like product losing the popularity. Like any outlier reduction, like abnormal, what you call patterns will be there. Like one-time bulk orders will be there. All order will go out, and you won't have any order to sell. Either you have to wait if something is coming for your way. Okay, so these are all those things that comes into way, like in our forecast reviews and exceptions. Now, scenario-based AA planning. So on scenario-based AA planning, so you will be having multiple scenarios will be there, like which means very simple. Instead of relying on a single plan, you will create multiple possible future situations. Like AI evaluates each scenario, which recommends the best decisions. Like scenario-based planning, which means what if analysis powered by AI, which is important for you. Right. So why this is needed? Because traditional planning problems will be there. Like plans are static, they cannot handle. Demand spikes will be there. Supply failures will be there. Loyalty disruptions will be there. These are all resulting in your reactive firefighting. So with AI scenario planning, it simulates multiple futures. Like it compare outcomes instantly. It will choose optimal action before problems occurs. These kind of things will be there. So this is where you create some base plan. You will trigger a scenario. Multiple scenarios will be simulated, and then AI evaluate that each scenario, and recommendations will be generated, planner decisions will be generated. So all these things, not one, like this will be having a heavy ideology behind that, where it will be helpful for you. Okay. And then handling spikes, low confidence. What is this handling spikes, low confidence? When you're handling spikes, okay, but why we have to go for low confidence? Okay. When AI detects sudden demand spikes driven by promotion or events, so the demand spikes basically unexpected, right? So it might be, as I said earlier, the festival season will be there, the promotional impacts will be there, weather-driven demands will be there. These are all these things. These are cement packs. And why low confidence? Because AI is not sure about forecast accuracy. So it might have new product or no history, or it might be a reason of high volatile demand, or sometimes it might be a reason of external disruption. So these are all these things which will make it like that. So why there are critical problems also. For example, demand spike is missing, you might lose sales. The spike is overacted, you might go for overstock. So low confidence ignored, so you can go for planning errors. So like all these different things will comes into picture. So here one important point is how AI detect these issues. Demand spike detection, AI uses all historical patterns, real-time signals, trend deviations, and all these things. It detects the sudden upward jumps and abnormal patterns as well. And low confidence detection, how we detect? It has a confidence score. It assigns a confidence score like high, medium, low, based on data quality, based on pattern stability, based on model certainty. So based on that only, it will flag the whether it needs a human review or not. Okay. So this is what next. So AI for stock support, as you know, how much is there, whether overstock, low stock, all these things, you might get into this. I'm just holding the screen for half a minute. Please look. Okay. So next one, reorder point recommendations. So especially this reorder point recommendations will be found in the SCM only. Okay. So when AI analyzes the consumption rates or consumption patterns, so you might optimize this reorder point triggers automatically. But what is reorder point? Simple definition. Reorder point is nothing but stock level at which you can or you should place a new order. Reorder point, right? So this ROP, reorder point, will be short-termly called as ROP. This is depends upon the demand during lead time and safety stock. Okay. So it might be a problem with traditional props. So how that by AI will improve the reorder point, how it is missed. AI-based reorder points is nothing but dynamic and intelligent. So AI continuously adjusts the demand forecast, lead time variabilities, and risk factors, and it will give all the improvements like what is the real-time update, what is the predictive adjustments, what is the exception-based recommendations. All these things will be done. So how AI calculates here the reorder recommendations, the inputs that were used by AI will be helped. For example, the historical demand is there, the forecasted demand is there, supplier lead times are there, variabilities are there, service level targets are there. These are all, you can say these are the inputs that are used by AI. So AI logic will be always simplified. AI predicts the future demand, risk of stock out. And then it recommends what, when to order, how much to reorder. This is what the major things for that. Okay. So this is how your reorder process is. Something will go with forecast demand generated, and then AI evaluate the inventory levels, calculate the risk, generates the reorder recommendations. Once it is prioritized all critical line items, it will plan the review and auto execute of your items as well. Okay. There will be again, if you come more into the subject for the reorder, there will be static replenishments, earlier reorders, delayed reorders, quantity optimization. So many scenarios will come into picture on that. So AI will handle all effectively. The next one, overstock stock alerts. I just told you, right? AI will generally have the habit of doing this because as it will continuously monitor that when there is overstock or stock point where we are going to coming out, then it will generally alert you, give you notifications and all these things as well. So prioritizing replenishment actions as of reorder. So it should be based on financial impact and urgency. And the critical stock outs, they should be affecting key enterprise customers they should be pushed to, right? So planner focus should be there, prioritization should be there, and you should not get overwhelmed by the minor alerts also. It should be a process where it has to go like that. Okay. And then next, tracking supplier risk indicators. Like it is one of the important. AI evaluates the supplier risk indicators from whenever the goods are transmitting from some source location to end location. So their responsibility will be there that they will have to do it. So wherever is there any issues are there, AI will help us on that. It predicts the potential supplier delays, qualities, and everything. So it is all where it comes from the integrating your risk scores into vendor evaluation selection flows as well. So this is how your purchase acquisition prioritization go with. Whenever you have urgent material requests for highlighted to prevent the manufacturing line stoppages, you can go for this. And routine requisitions, you can route for automated touchless purchase orders, where you can go directly and ask to a machine and machine will initiate that. And then the procurement teams focus on critical strategic vendor sourcing, which is very important. So that is also one of the important point which will go. So these are all the AI sourcing recommendations. Just have a look on it. Okay. And contract and communication assistance. Generative AI generally have the supplier communications for all the delays or contract negotiations. So it will have all these obligations and terms which will extract from vendor contracts, and accordingly, it will send the automated communication for the buyers for all these saving the time and daily efforts on top of that. Okay. And then daily delivery delay predictions also will be taken care of that wherever weather, traffic, carrier, warnings of it, predictive tracking, early detection of where the product was being struck. So all these kinds of things, it will help you on that. Next, order fulfillment issue detection. So generally, AI monitors sales orders to identify the potential fulfillment bottlenecks proactively. So wherever the orders are getting misleaded or something is happening, it will flag the orders missing, which is allocated to you for facing transportation constraints. Similarly, customer service teams also, they can also intervene before the promised delivery dates, or proactive issue reductions and all these things will happen on top of this. Okay. And service level, when there is a risk is happening, so we can keep some priorities of high, low, medium kind of things. And based on that, the level risk alerts will be handled by the AI with all its KPIs you are going to tag for it. So on totally, what is the value for consultants? They can map these predictions to core SAP process. The outputs helps consultants to go for smarter and supply chain workflows. And then the embedding intelligence also will be using for user workspaces, especially for recording system to an active advisor. Okay. So these are the key takeaways for this SAM session. Please have a look on it. All right. So this is done. So we are completing in this section all these two module main PPTs, and we'll cover the lab access at a stretch. Okay. One by one on this. Okay. So next one, we are covering the cross-functional adoption governance also, which is very important module to us. Okay, 4 and 5 are covering the same module here. So on the cross-functional adoption, let me explain you. Go for the small disclaimer, right? So this is the agenda. Anyways, module learning outcomes here, you can get a business processes. You can design secure approval paths, keeping the human experts in control, ownership control, and like business teams to critically review and trust AI reports, all these things. So you can design end-to-end workflows also on top of this. Okay. So linking finance, HR, SCM, because cross-functional means that is what, right? We link the functional things into here. So HR hiring triggers IT provisioning and finance payroll system updates, because HR and FI should be there, SCM finance should be there, and cross-functional impacts for different models will be there. These are all comes into picture when you're talking about this. So identifying the departmental handoffs. Handoffs are critical failure points in manual business process, like where AI reduces friction basically by auto-populating your data during departmental transitions. So wherever is required, it will map exactly where SCM data becomes a financing responsibility, because there the integration of SCM and finance will be mandatory for in those scenarios. Okay. And then we have to define how AI supports the user during those critical transitions as well. So wherein which we can take that leveragement also on top of that, when you're going for departmental handoff identification. Now, one of the important thing will be building AI supported approval paths. So as you're seeing here, building AI supported, what does this actually mean? It means AI supported approvals are equal to workflows where AI decides who should approve, what needs approval, and what can be auto-populated. So instead of a rigid rule set, AI evaluates the risk, AI evaluates the value, urgency, and it routes to the right approval or auto approvals, whatever it might be. So if you see a traditional versus AI approval, in traditional, we might have fixed hierarchies, all approvals are manual, no prioritization, slow decisions. These are all things might happen on top of that. Whereas in the AI supported environments, it is all dynamic routing, not fixed. And it is auto approved for low risk. Okay. And high risk one, you can go for defined approval strategies also. And it is not no prioritization in the traditional, as I said. Whereas here it is AI supported, it is risk-based prioritization, more of it. So also in traditional approaches, we'll go for slow decisions. Okay. But here you have faster context-aware decisions will be taken on part of that. Okay. So you have to go for triggering the events, AI evaluation layer, decision rules, your collaboration with human agents. So all these things will comes into picture when you go to for this building the AI supported approval paths. Okay. Next, keeping the humans in control. So if you see one statement here, keeping humans in control, which means it is what it is writing here. AI augments human decision making, but does not replace legal accountability. Okay. So which means that you have given few things here, but one important thing, so like AI augments decisions means it does not replace your legal accountability. Okay, which means humans means we decide and we are accountable when AI recommends. No matter how advanced the model is, AI is a decision support and humans will be the decision owners legally and operationally. Now, why human control is non-negotiable here? Because legal responsibility, contracts or procurements, the financial commitments which are owned by humans, AI cannot be held liable in courts or audits, right? So it is the humans who can do it. So all the risks and ethics also will be there. AI may miss the context, AI amplify the bias, or AI misinterpret the rare scenarios also. These are all things might happen. So compliance and governance will be also a part of it, where the regulations inquire or they're required on top of this. Like wherein which all your traceability, your justification, your accountability, all these things are there for your compliance and governance. Okay. So where A helps here basically like where of demand planning for prediction the forecast, where human role is to approve, adjust or adjust. When there is a replenishment area is there, the AI role is to suggest the reorder. So what is the human role there? Validate the business needs. Similarly, procurement area, it will recommend the suppliers where humans will approve the contracts. When you go for logistics, it will suggest the routes where humans will decide the trade-offs. In the similar way, approvals. Approvals area, what is the AI role? It will having a risk scoring, whereas human role is a final decision. So like this, human in the keeping human in the control will be there, and human in the loop model HI. Anyways, I have told to you where AI generates the insights, explains the reasoning, go for human reviews and decides accordingly, and system records the decision. So this is where AI learns from the outcome. Okay. So this is what about the keeping the humans in control. Next one, governance for functional teams in the cross-functional teams, which is very important. Why and what is the thing on this, guys? Because governance for functional teams, which is you don't need a heavy AI policy document to start. What you need is clear ownership guardrails and decision rights across business teams. So, which in which the core principle is AI suggests, functions, owns, and business is accountable. So, AI is nothing but advisory layer, and he has a decision owner, and it is a organization is accountable for it. So it always follows a governance structure, which is a 3-layer model, which is a strategic layer which is called leadership layer, where you will define your risk appetite, automation boundaries, your compliance standards and everything. Okay. Functional layer is the second layer where you call more of SCM teams, we generally belong to that, where we own our decisions, own exceptions, own the approvals and all things. This is where most governance happens. And one of the third important layer, which is the technical layer, where IT, AI, BTP will come into picture, where they will manage the models, data, performance, everything on top of that. So this is the total different layers that we have in the system for this. Okay. Especially, yeah, governance for functional teams I told, but functional governance by area will be also there. Like demand planning, for example, if we can take, what is the responsibility of demand planning? So you will review the forecast exceptions and you have low confidence forecast on that. So on top of that, governance rules can be incorporated, which means the AI generates the forecast, planner must approve the high impact changes, and it has to track the forecast and accuracy also. Similarly, if you go for inventory and replenishment, what are the responsibilities? You have to approve reorder recommendations and safety stock changes. What are the governance rules there? Auto or reorder allowed for low value items and manual approval for critical SKUs. So like this, the governance for functional teams can be incorporated. Okay. And next one, data quality requirements. So on data quality requirements, we should be having reliable AI outcome when you are going for, especially in AI in supply chain. It's only as good as the data behind it. If your data is inconsistent or late, the model will confidently give you the wrong answers. So treat data quality as a governance discipline, not a one-time cleanup. Okay. So always good data, reliable AI, better decisions. Bad data, wrong AI, expensive mistakes. Okay. Then audit readiness and compliance, as we already know that how you have to do it. Like what is the ensure further? Just have a look on it. All right. So measuring the business outcomes. Next one. What is that you have to measure the business outcomes here? Like AI success measured by concrete business value delivered daily, and which is your track measure decisions and discussions on top of that, wherein which this will have the comparing of pre-AI business line items and everything on top of that. Okay. So like this, you can measure your business outcomes. I'm hanging the screen for a minute, have a look on it. All right. So next one, change management for AI. What is it you can do for change management for AI, especially in supply chain? So rolling out AI in SCM, this is not a technology project. So it's a behavior change program. So the biggest risks are not models or data here. They are the adoption, trust, and accountability. So technology alone, that is why technology alone cannot drive successful enterprise. So you have to often fear AI will complicate or replace their jobs, or it will change management, bridges the gap between your adoptions and iteratively address user concerns during the project rollout. All these things will there. So AI succeeds when people trust it, understand it, and use it. So what changes with AI? Be explicit, like manual decisions, reactive planning, experience-based, fully controlled by humans. All these things will be there as before AI picture. After AI picture, AI-assisted decisions will be there, predictive planning will be there, data-driven things will be there, human and AI collaboration will be there. So these things will be there for you. So this shift creates resistance if unmanaged. Okay. So typical resistance you'll face from functional team is, for example, I don't trust AI recommendations. This will replace my job. Our system doesn't understand real business. These kinds of things will be there. Okay. Next, preparing business users, because you have to communicate how AI removes tedious tasks and you have to see the realistic expressions. So you have to involve the key end users during your initial workflow design phase, and early involvement building internal champions for new systems. These are all much required for that as well. All right. The next one, So communicate how AI removes these all things we have already discussed, right? Next one, writing AI specific SOPs. So SOPs means what? Standard operating procedures. Okay. So these SOPs must reflect the new AI assisted work reality generally, right? So AI SOPs are not just process documents. They define how humans and AI collaborate, like who decides and how accountability is maintained and all these things. So what is the core principle here? The SOPs must define when to trust AI, when to question it, and how and who is responsible for it. So what makes an AI SOP different here? The traditional SOPs, if you consider that they may be having fixed step, human decisions only, no model logic, limited auditing, all these things will be there. Okay. But whereas in AI specific SOPs, you will be having dynamic and AI assisted steps will be there, where it is a combination of human and AI collaboration. It will include all the AI reasoning and full traceability will be there. Okay. So that is how you can see all these things, because it will have system planner, manager, everything, it will be generating further AOP based, SOP based things. Okay. For example, if I want to speak about the forecast review SOP, AI generates forecast, system assigns confidence score, and then exceptions will be identified. Planner reviews your low confidence items and high deviation items, and planner adjusts or approves it. And finally, it changes log. Okay. This is a simple thing which I have explained you. Similarly, you can like understand the remaining ones also. And training teams to review outputs. So what is training team to review outputs? It should focus on spotting your hallucinations for basic or biased algorithm recommendations, or teach users how to provide the feedback to improve the AI, or the critical thinking also, which is more the important, becomes the most important skill for the business users as well. These are all these things which the users must learn to critically evaluate that. And then trust through controlled rollout, because never launch AI automations globally across all departments instantly. You have to go for understanding the risk and mitigations on top of that, and slowly you have to release one. So the capstone synthesizes basically all modules. So you will act as a lead functional consultant for transformation. So you can apply design, governance, change management. So this all proves your readiness for the lead complex AI projects. The capstone project looks similarly like that. So you have to select a business process. You have to define the current state pain points where you're mapping that, and you have to design the future state AI touch points also on that. So you have to map out all the future state touch points, like redesigning, determining the newly streamlined flow between the functional enterprise departments. You have to ensure the design that includes the clear human in the loop manual usage. Everything is important there. So identify the KPIs, controls, and reviews wherever is required further. And in this also, you have to draft for the requirements for audit and specify the training plan for businesses as well when they are required on top of that. Okay. So this is what for the cross-functional design. So we will be going to the lab exercises of now. Okay, just have a look for a minute for the key takeaways from this session. All right. So we are done with the 4-5 modules explanations. Now let's go for the fourth one, review a forecast exception board and decide which items need the planner intervention. Okay. So this is one of the important part. So these are all different things which will comes into our way. So to this important one, review a forecast exception board, which means what you have to do there. So the board typically should show what your product locations, your forecast actual versus actual, your error percent, your confidence score, your exception type, all these things, right? So what is the step first one? You have to filter only exception. Do not review everything. On those cases, you have when saying review, this is not direct one, which I'm just explaining you how you can do on this. Okay, take this one. So you can first filter only exceptions. Okay, do not review everything. Okay, so you have to apply filters on what you'll apply filters. Your high forecast errors, low confidence, and demand or spike drops. Okay, this is the first one. And then you have to prioritize by business impact, which means you have to sort by revenue, sort by items. And then importantly, you have to check the key indicators for each item. Okay, where the forecast error, how much, confidence score, how much, for every flagged item, you can look at further. Okay, and then you can you can keep the decision logic. It is very important, wherein which when does it need a planner intervention, like high error, high impact kind of things, low confidence forecast, or spike drop, all these things. And when not, this you have to intervene, guys. When you have to not intervene this one, when you have low error plus high confidence and low impact. Okay. Then you can go for deep dive of your selected items. Okay. So this is your main one, where here you will go over all the cause and everything. You can finally give the decision update and everything on top of it. Okay. So quick decision, like, high error, high value review, low confidence review, demand spike validate, stable and accuracy ignore. These are the things, review points you have to understand when you're going for any practical review of your forecast exception board. Next, what you have to do this work through an inventory shortage scenario using AI recommendations. So let's see that how you can do this. So here also you have to identify shortage alerts, understand the root cause, review recommendations and everything. So these ones, let me show you in the practical part only how AI system will generate it for you. Okay, you can ask from here, but let me show you this one also. We have this icon here, let it open. Okay, so this might take some time. You can go to the studio. Directly you can generate. I'm just showing you how you can generate that application. Next. So it should be ready because I'm just showing you with the chatbot how we can do it. This is still starting, right? It should change to run. So this is started. It's more refresh this. Still creating. Running. Okay. We'll go to the entire environment. Now open that. Comes testing setting up is ready. I have already walked through you the inventory shortage scenario, how we can handle it. Okay. But I'm showing you in system also because in inventory standard scenario, first of all, the most important part is we have to identify the shortage scenarios. Okay. So let me explain you this and then I'll tell that one as well, how we can do more clearly on this. Okay. So here for the inventory shortage scenarios, okay, the first thing is you have to identify the shortage alerts. Like you have to check, okay, the current stock level, days of supply, demand forecast. For example, stock 100 units, demand 50, coverage 2. So shortage is detected, right? That's how. And then you have to understand the root cause. Okay. Before acting, you have to ask demand spike. Okay. You can ask the supplier delay, like demand forecasting, supplier delay, forecast error, and data issue. Here, like stock, demand, coverage. Okay. Then you can go for reviewing of your AI recommendations, like reorder, expedite, all these things. Evaluate each option like reorder, expedite, alternate supplier, and stock transfer. Okay. And then based on that, you have to prioritize and decide the action plan. Okay, ma'am. Finally, execute the decision. All right. So this is how you have to, this is a walkthrough of how you can do. For example, mobile phones is there. Stock is 200. Demand is 800 per day. Supplier delay is 5 days. Now, what is the AI alert? It will stock out in supplier delay risk. So, AI recommendation is now there is no supply, right? So, expedite order, source from alternate supplier, planner decision, expedite plus partial alternate sourcing. Like that. Okay. So, now let me show you here. There is a system here. This one. This one. Yeah. So now let me write here clearly for SAP, create and generate a inventory shortage scenario. Generate a inventory shortage scenario with demo data and relevant application logic with UI apps. We can provide like that. So it will provide you all the data. Very simple. So it will provide you, see here, product inventory order, product has these properties and all these things. So generate sample data, create sample data for your product inventory, implement logic here, all these things, it will go. Now you just go. I'm not just, tweaking anything. I'm just going according to the system only. I'll show you how easily system will generate it for. So first of all, see, this is a CDS view which was generated for the product inventory and order. Okay, these are the service schema that it has written for it, and annotations, detailed annotations CDS view which has written for that. Okay, so once it is done, now go for generate sample data. So you can see the data has been generated for all this. Okay, and application logic, it is generating here. Accept this. You can see the application logic what has written the service JSONs for the orders and accept it. That's it. As simple as that. Once you are done with it, now go to the storyboard. So product inventory order, everything ready. Now if you want to create product inventory and order, you can write this for UI as well. So it will add the UI also parallelly here. The elements application. Just wait for a minute. It will generate it like this. It has everything created into one single thing. It's okay, fine. Okay. Now just simply run it. So you can actually map to 3 UA applications, which is okay. But this is also okay. No, it's just for time sake, I'm just showing you. So from this, you can recommend also whether there is a stop is there or not, and you can get the recommendations from AI that when you go for reorder or expedite or like going for alternative suppliers or something. So every application you can try things only. It will easily create for that video. No problems. The terminal is still running here. Just wait. So like this, you get your product inventory and order management directly. So each one you can make it out. I was just showing product inventory management only. Product to product, inventory to inventory, order to order, you can create. So like this, you can create the product IDs and everything. You can give all these things. Okay, and then just enter and create. So like this, you can create the product information. Like you can go to the home and put the order. Order I have not mapped. Similarly, you can map and everything. Based on the things, you can just create your logic decisions on top, which I have just told you, right? So whether the product is completed, then you have to go for expedite. So these are also systematic decisions. Okay. So like this, you can ask it and you can bind it and accept the things and you can create the things on top of that. Okay. That is how Waku is not practically a thing, but I have showed you how you can do it. Next, analyze a supplier delay scenario and prepare corrective actions. This is one of the other activity which you can do as part of this exercise. So what is the scenario overview here? What does it mean? It's speaking here. Supplier delay scenario, right? I mean, supplier shipment is delayed and AI flag delivery delay risk high. So you can generate the data, you can do anything on top of this. Once you're done with this one, create scenario for supplier shipment is delayed where AI flags delivery risk high. You can select from the main data this one. But let's understand that in such cases, you have to identify the delay, right? Check the planned delivery date versus actual, delay duration, affect the materials. Okay. And then it assess the blueprinting, like before reacting, evaluate, will this cause production stoppage or not? Which customers and for which orders are impacted on top of this? Inventory coverage available or not? Understand the root cause, whether the supply issue or its logistic delay or external factor. Review the AA recommendations, like AA suggests the corrective actions, right? Like you're expediting the shipment, switching to the alternate suppliers, relocation of stock, and all these things will be there. So you have to evaluate each option, expediting the shipments or alternate suppliers or stock transfers or production adjustments, whatever it might be. You have to prioritize actions and build the corrective action plan for that. So that is what you have to build scenarios on top of this. Okay. So you can add something like that. I'm creating an element application. So in the entities, whatever is possible only because we can create a new one. We are on to the this one, right? So we can go for the new one directly instead of this new project from the template. Yeah, like this, you can correct and you can do it, right? So that's about the third lab exercise. And what is the last one? Map the AI opportunities across procure to pay and plan to fulfill the workflows. So what is this talking about? Map the AI opportunities. So you have procure to pay and plan to fill. Two things are there. Okay, are you understanding this part here, guys? Which means AI connects P2P plus P2F. Okay. So on P2P, you're doing what? Sourcing to procurement to invoice and to payment. Similarly, P2F, demand planning to supply planning to production to delivery, like that. All right. So AI connects both through your predictions, recommendations, which we already discussed, right? When is automation, when is copilot, when is recommendation? We discussed in earlier topics clearly all these things. Automation and copilot. All right. So in AI opportunities for procure to pay, the first opportunity which you can see is this one. Let me show you that. The demand trigger purchase requisition. What is the pain point and what is the AI opportunity? So manual PR creation, no prioritization. The AI opportunity is auto generate PRs based on demand forecast and inventory levels. Now, what is the AI type here, guys? What is the AI type you have to go for, ma? You have to go for prediction plus automation. All right. So similarly, next one, you have supplier selection. What is supply selection? What are the pain points of it? And what is the AI opportunity for this? For supply selection, mapping the opportunity, how you will map it? Pain point is manual decision, no risk visibility. And AI opportunity will be of cost, reliability, and risk. So it's a type. A type is what? It's a recommendation. All right. So next one, One of the important thing here, what is that? Purchase order processing. So what can be your pain points here and what will be the AI opportunities you're seeing here? Okay. The pain point will be delays in approvals, right? The AI opportunity is it support approval workflows for auto approval, low risk POs and escalate the high risk. And AI type is here automation plus decision making support. And next, what is the next one? One of the important in the P2P invoice processing. So what will be the pain point and what is the AI opportunity here? What can be thinking on this? So the manual invoice matching will be your pain point and OCR plus AI, these are your important AI opportunities. One more is there in our segment now. What is that? Payment and risk monitoring. Fifth one. So in this, the fraudulent risk and late payment will be there. So that is your AI opportunities as well, like this. Okay. So these are all your P2P pain points and AI opportunities. That's what, right? In the exercise, what it was been asked us. That's what I'm saying. I'm just sharing and doing with you. Map AI opportunities across P2P and PTF workflows. Right? There is a workflow, right? Whatever I'm showing is all the workflow of that, and I'm mapping for you further. Now let's go for P2F. P2F also we have demand planning, first important point. Similar one. What is that in the demand planning we have? Pain point here again, the forecast inaccuracies. Here the AI opportunities will little differ because you go for forecasting inaccuracies pain point. It has the AI opportunity of ML based forecasting, the exception based detections and all these things will happen on top of it. So here the AI type will be your prediction. Next will be your supply chain. The pain point will be your static planning and AI opportunities are these ones. So AI type is what again? Recommendation and optimization. And very importantly in P2F, what is that? Inventory management. What you will do in the inventory management? Overstock or stockouts will be, let us know. And AI opportunities here like dynamic safety stock, reorder recommendations and exception alerts. So I'm putting that here. This is 3, not. And what is the next one? Especially into the PTF we have production planning. The pain point is inefficient schedules. AI opportunities are like AI optimized production plans and bottleneck predictions. The type will be here optimization. And next, what are the other important thing that we can discuss here? Logistic fulfillment. Okay. On to logistic fulfillment. What is the pain point, Ma? Your deliveries, delays, and the AI opportunities are like this. And then one more, consumer delivery and service. This is your pain points and opportunities. Let's have a look on. Now, when you talk about the cross-process AI capabilities, these apply across both P2P and P2F. So I'm going to explain you those ones also clearly now. When the cross models are coming into picture, so these are the important things which you have to consider. Okay. Like I'm just explaining you what are those here. Just have a look on it. These are all for cross processing, both P2P and P2F. Okay. Your exception management, your scenario simulation, exception management, all the AI things will be your forecast issues, supplier delays, inventory risk. Whereas in scenario simulation, you can ask like, what if supplier fails? What if demand increases kind of things. So AI Copilot, anyways, we have Joule, okay, which we already know. So why is this delayed? What should I do kind of things. And automation, again, PR creation, invoice processing, all these things will come into picture. Okay. So I will explain you 2 more things also. The simple mapping table for you, like for the process, for AI type, what it will be, I'll just show you here. Let me draw a table here. So this is your process, AI use case and AI type. Let's have a look on it. For PR creation, what is the use case? What is the AI type? For supplier selection, for invoice, whatever I just told, right? For all I have kept here. Okay. So an end-to-end scenario, if you want to explain while you're observing this, for example, there is a scenario called demand spike. Now, what you have to do? The AI detects the demand spike and then it updates the forecast and then it will triggers the PR automatically and then it will recommend the supplier and then we can predict the delivery delay and suggest alternate route. So this covers both P2F and P2P. Let me write it for you. We won't get it anywhere. The important one, real scenario, demand spike. What you have to do first one, AI detects demand spike, then updates forecast, then triggers PR automatically, and then recommends supplier and then predicts delivery delay, and it will suggest alternate route. This covers your both thing. Okay. So AI connects planning and procurement. So decisions are not reactive, but predictive and coordinated. Right? With this, what happens? Demand increases by 30%. And what happens to end to end? So expected flow your forecast update to the inventory check and to PR and to supplier and to delivery. All right. So these are some of your case. I'm just showing you here. Demand planning, what you have to do for this, what you have to take this. What is the output? Simple use case for you, just how it looks like as an workshop kind of thing. So you can see here, this might help you further on this in the demand planning thing. So if you see, for example, case one, when I say AI forecast being 40%, content is medium, data given like this. Current forecast this one, the AI forecast 14,000, confidence is medium. So task, what is that for you? Like you have to decide, accept the AI forecast or not, or adjust partial reject. So what is the thinking? Check seasonality and promotions, AI support, demand sensing forecast explanation. So final forecast decision can be there from. So based on the analysis that you can do, you can get that final forecast decisions also on top. Okay. So similarly, you can do the same for inventories, procurement decisions, okay, final integration decisions and everything on top of that. Okay. So on together, AI doesn't make the decision. It helps you make better decisions across the entire supply chain plan. Okay. So 1 second, let's have a look on this. I'll lock the screen for a while. Okay. So with this, we have covered the module 4 completely, guys. Module 5, given the explanation. So in module 5, you'll see wonderful lab exercise, building a complete no-code AI workflow blueprint for one department. How to do that, we will see. By system and by Joule also, I'll show you that. How to add governance checkpoints and user roles, and how to define users KPIs and all these things. Final capstone, create a function constellation canvas for real business scenario. How that looks like, I'll show you all these things in the next video in detail with this. Okay. So thank you for this. For now, make this one. So you can get this module things also. Anyways, this required training materials also, I can find this here. Okay.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Everyone. So now we are on the last part of this module, the main module A for functional consultants here. So onto this module, right now we are going to learn, we are learning already on the PPT, and we're just going to the some of this exercise, right, as I told you. So now let me go one by one here. So, right guys. So let me share my screen to you, right? So into this module. So this is exercise we have to, now lab activities we have to understand. Okay. So onto this, the main things first of all, whatever we have to focus on this. First, to build a complete no-code AI workflow blueprint for one department, right? So workflow blueprint you have to build. That is a lab activity. It's not something you have to do on the system, but yes, you have to do a workflow blueprint. Okay. So how you do this workflow blueprint? So let me explain you one by one on this. You can go into this. So first exercise, no code AI workflow blueprint, right? So you have to design an end-to-end AI powered workflow using no code tools. What are the no code tools here? Either build apps or build process automation. Okay. So let's say any scenario we can take, like procure to pay, invoice, exception handling. If we can take something like that. So procure to pay, invoice, exception handling. Okay. So with this, what we can do? What is the workflow blueprint? So this is the workflow blueprint. First of all, you have to make ready of this. The first one is you have to create a trigger on where for the invoice received, okay, either for email or your OCR or through S4, whatever you want to build, you can build on top of that. Okay. And then AI reads your invoice using the document extraction. That is the main one and the trigger. Okay. So after that, you have to go for AI processing. AI processing where you will extract vendor name, amount, and PO number. So you have to validate this against an API, that is a standard API, or your S4 HANA PO data. Okay. So then if this is validated, that means if matches, auto post. If it is not matches, it will route to exception flow. So else to exception, right? So as I told you, while doing this, you should have all this, what do you call, the exception handlings. Okay, AI suggests that, right? So AI suggests price, variance, reason, and quantity mismatch insights. Okay. So then last one, we have to go for human in the loop. As we have learned, right? Where your clerk reviews AI recommendation. Okay. Either to accept, modify, or to reject. Okay. Then finally it will be post invoice, or it will go to escalate to manage. So this is your workflow blueprint. Whatever I have told you, right? Like first lab activity, how to build a complete no-code AI workflow blueprint for one department. This is A, which is a department, procure to pay, invoice department, exception handling. This is the workflow we have to generate like that. Okay. So in this, what are the tools you are going to use it to develop all these activities? Okay. You have to use, I'll give you, explain clearly everything. For all this flow, BPA for workflow, and you have to go AI core, Joule for AI reasoning, and S4 HANA for backend validation, and build apps for UI. I'll show a few things on this once I complete all the lab activities, because these are explanation lab activities only for you. So this is what, these are the tool sets for this one. Okay. There comes next one. What is the next one we have gone here? Add governance checkpoint, user roles and approvals. Okay. So that one. So governance checkpoint. So what are we ensuring here? We are ensuring AI operates under controlled auditable conditions. Right. So for that governance, first of all, you have to build something. These are all you can take like this. This is the role, let's say, and this is responsibility. Okay. So what is the role here? As an AP clerk, I mean account payable clerk, account payable manager, your AI system, and auditor. All right. So with this, what are we getting the responsibilities here? Like let's say we are going for, here we will be going for reviews the AI suggestions. Okay. And then AP manager will approve high value exceptions, and then AI system will provide the recommendations, and here it will reviews the logs. Okay. So now what are the governance checkpoints? You have to find it out. That's the exercise. Okay. So what are the governance checkpoints here? First one, input governance, where you will validate the invoice data completeness, and then you will reject the low confidence OCR, okay, which is less than 85% or something, which we can keep something like that. And then second one will be your AI governance. So what is that here? The confidence score threshold, okay. So you can say 90% if the confidence score threshold is going, it will go for auto action. And if it is 70 to 90%, then that you can take it to human review. And if it is 11 and less than 70%, you can take it as reject AI suggestions. Okay. These are the things. And here in the governance, what are the main ones? Approval rules, because we are keeping the governance, right? What are the approval rules you can keep? Any amounts, like for example, less than INR 50,000 rupees, you can go for auto approval. Okay. If it is 1550 to 1 lakh, AP manager approval. If it is greater than 5 lakhs, then you have to go for finance controller approval. Okay. This is how. And then one of the important in the governance will be your audit trail. What is this audit trail? You have the AI recommendations, user actions, timestamp, and override reasons. Okay. Like you will be having the risk controls like bias checks, fraud detections, explainability, why AI suggested these and all these things. So you can go for that, not an issue. But yes, this is one of the one such good thing that you have to understand. This is how you have to do your governance ideas. Now, if you can see, this is what, right? Add governance checkpoints, user roles, and approval rules. Simple. This is where you have to do it, how you have to make it out. I'll show you that also as part of the exercise provided for us to show where you can add it for this. Okay, next one. What is the last 3 exercise for this we have? Third one is now define business KPIs such as cycle time, exception rate, and productivity gain. So 3 KPIs. What KPIs also system has mentioned that. Right. Now let's see this. Okay. Now go for core KPIs, which is the third exercise. Is this first one, cycle time. So cycle time, what you can keep, for example, before AI, it can be 5 days. After AI, the target will be 1 to 2 days. Right? In the similar way, exception rates. That means percentage of invoices. Okay. They needing manual intervention and target reduction of 30 to 50%, which is important. And next important thing, first time match rate. So what is this? Whenever you increase PO match accuracy, right? The first time match rate will be there. That one, you can keep the target as 85 to 95%. These are all KPIs you have to maintain, guys. So don't look what are these different things that I'm telling you. Okay. This is all your KPIs which you have to, these all lab exercises are one by one given as a parts for you. One single big exercise that you have to do. Okay. And then productivity gain. Productivity gain where here invoice processed per employee. I'm writing clearly for you. Invoices processed per employee. Okay. So you can keep target how many invoices you can keep target. Let's say plus or minus, or you can give only plus 40% and then cost savings. Okay. It is your reduced manual effort and fewer penalties. Okay. So these all things will constitute your KPIs. Okay. Now, once we have, now what is the third exercise I told you? Define KPIs. So we define the KPIs clearly. Productivity gain, how much? Cycle time, what is? Exception, how much? Everything we define now. Okay, this is how you have to define your KPIs. Now, what is the fourth exercise we have? Final capstone, create a functional consultant AI solution canvas for a beer scenario. Now, they are telling this. This is the final deliverable framework. Okay. So now what is that you have to make it for this in this? With this, you can create all these things like you have to simply scope it and tell simply like this. What is the capstone? Capstone means complete about the functional consultant level project thing. Like you have to mention like this business problem. I'm not writing, I'm telling you, I'll explain each of these bits. Process scope, AI use cases, data sources, AI capabilities, workflow design, governance model, KPIs, risks and mitigation, finally, value realization. Okay. So when you consider all these things, what is the first business problem? You have to identify that. Like high invoice processing times, frequent mismatches, or you can say manual workload. These are all things that comes under your business problem. So further, the process scope, what is the process scope? Like now 5 year in this case, we are going for procure to pay, which is the invoice processing, right? So which we can consider for that? And then we have the third one, which is AI use cases, wherein which document extraction, anomaly detections, what are the other things, recommendation, these are all comes under your AI use cases picture. And then you have data sources. For S4 HANA, I mean, whatever for us, like for PO or vendor, whatever you take, that is all for S4 HANA. Like it might be invoice PDFs, vendor master data, and all these things will comes into picture. And for AI capabilities, you have to mention what are the AI capabilities. Like it is natural language processing through invoice processing, predictive matching, or generative AI. So you have to mention that. And then workflow design critically ask you, what are you triggering? What are you extracting? I told you a number of times in earlier models also, right? How to validate, how to decide, how to act. Governance model, we discussed top, which will give you approval hierarchy audit logs. KPIs, we discussed top. Risk and mitigations we discussed top. Okay. And value realization finally will be your faster processing, reduced cost, better compliance, and improved user experiences will be your value realization. Okay. In risk and mitigation, majorly, for example, if any wrong AI decision happen, it is like a human approval layer. The mitigation you can do is, for example, data quality issues are happening. The mitigation go for validation rules. For example, compliance issues are happening, you can go for audit logs. So like this, you can go for all these individual. This is all your capstone framework. Just a moment. Can you stop for me? So this should be your typical components, guys, for this framework, whatever I'm mentioning. Just have a look on it. Okay. Now let's go into this. So we understood, right, clearly all 4 lab exercises here. Whatever has been given, I covered it. Now let me show you a small practical on this. Now if you go to this one, so you can ask like this. All right. So let me put here. Yeah, I'll just check out this one. Let me go to the studio here. Let this open. Continue. Okay. These all came right. Okay. Now we can see this one. So for the development environment, this will take some time. Whenever you have gone through development environments to initiate, right? So this will take, because all the library files, everything, it will, because I showed you earlier demos also, this will take little time when you start with this. See, it's opening your development environment now. Let this configure. Slowly, this will configure the environment, and then all the files and projects will be ready for your left side panel, because I already, in the earlier scenarios, I've showed you the similar thing, right? This is how it will start really slowly working. Okay. From the Joule, actually, we will try to make it out. So we have to tell here what type of application are we building. Generate a cap application and then ask whatever you want and see here. So I told what, see here. Wow, wonderful. So I have asked it, design a complete AI powered procure to pay invoice exception handling, build process automation, Joule for, and I'm doing everything from the Joule. I'm just showing you, either you built it from your own. I'll show you both the ways. This is how you can do it, whether it can be generating or not. First, generate the cap data here and generate the cap application where it will validate the PO with S4HANA and include human in the loop approvals. Okay. This is where it will be. So first of all, generate the cap data. So you can see it quickly generated that, all the service JDS and everything here. Come down and generate cap application logic. So you can see all this logic, service JSON, before invoice create update, after invoice read, both. Okay. After that, you can see before order create update and reject, all accept. So this is processing. So you can create actually from Joule, I told you, right? Or else you can do one thing, invoice, purchase order, exception, user approval. So all these things you have to do it, because there is no application for this, right? So you can create, let's say this is invoice, next template based. So already it is generated, right? Receipt report page, you can keep it. This is your invoice. So select the invoice and the columns. Okay. Okay. So like this, you can create for, because if we start creating, it will taking and everything. So other exercise, it is happening like this. So now let's go with one by one here. Invoice after. What is the other one we have here? Purchase order. Purchase order. Next. List report page next. Yes. Finish. So this will be generated. Close this. And then again one more. For exception, user approval also. Exception. Next. Next. Finish. So it will generate. Then user and for approval. So you have to make all these things one by one to begin for the necessary AI applications. So similarly for user and approval. User and approval. Finish. Okay. So similarly for approval also. Because this you can do in multiple ways. I'm directly making this, done by a kind of application from Joule itself only. And you can build from BPA as well. Like I show you how we can do it. I also in one demo, I showed you that. But yeah, similarly, you can do it from there as well. Okay, just map it. That's it. Oh, this is installing dependencies and everything, right? Okay. Let it install dependencies and everything one more time. So once this is come, I don't know, everything has to be reinitiating here. So once it is done, you can go and run this one, and then it will create the actions. I mean, the necessary UI for that, whatever is required for that, it will be created. Let me refresh this one more time. I don't know what happened to this. So you can see everything is completely done. Now we have to simply run this. That's it. I have clicked already run. It's running. Let's see. See here, all applications has been cleared, right? For the invoices, purchase orders, everything, right? If we can go to invoice, so we can go for the invoice data. I think is there, right? Now we can create a invoice. See all the invoice application. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amount 10,000. Put a currency here, like cancel this 60. purchase order, take your own, we notify, okay, the approval you can provide it. Now create this one, edit this one, status okay, A123, purchase order numbers and have we kept and this is approved or not, we can go for human things for this. Now go here to home page, approval. So now you can go here, you can create the approvals also. Approval ID 1, approved. Now go back, again create 2. All the data also I think so we can create from Joule, but I am just creating here just for the purpose sake here. Okay, like this you can create the data. Okay, and then go to the main home page again. Purchase orders, first of all, for the invoice when we have to create, right? So these are all the backend you have to first of all execute that for the governance and everything. So create the PO numbers here. So those will reflect there. 1, 2, 3. Vendor ID 123, amount 10,000, create, okay, object created. Now go back again create 2345, 2345, amount 20,000, ENR, create, now go back, now go to the home page. Okay, we given the approvals, we given now exceptions, also data we have to generate. Like we can go to create, exception ID 1, invoice allowed, status create 1, invoice allowed, create. Okay, and then next create one more. Okay. So all these things are ready. Now we have user also, which was not there. The username, you can take some username here. Now let's say go create ops user. So this is a basic data you have to build. And then based on that, the approvals mechanism and everything, we can make it out. Create 234 manager. I'm just showing you as an example here. Just these ones, you can make it out. Now we can create invoice on top of this. If you go to back home page, now invoice, then get all the drop downs will be filled now because all the backend I have filled it, right? All the data. So now we can say go, this which is the one earlier I create. Now create 5678 amount 10,000. Okay, you can now take the PO. See the POs are now coming. The exceptions are now coming. The approvals rate is also now comes. So create. So like this, you can take the human controls also into this and you can create. The flows will not be shown directly here. The flow, if you want, right? The flow you have to build it in the SAP build process automation, which earlier I have showed you. Okay. So the BPA skills you can see and you can take the BPA skills and you have to do it. So even store also it will be there. Let me show you that. The invoice approval one. See invoice approval sample process. Now create from template, create. We can see here. This is how your form look like. This is your main invoice detail process. This is where, the flow I told you, right? It will be existing here. Let me show you that. This is how it works. Invoice request form, extract the invoice data, determine the approver, and then forms will be there. Approve, reject. Simple. Okay. This is all generated. This is how you have to make it out also. That are the outputs. You can see employee name, file path. So everything is there from this. Okay. So now you release this and check this. Release this, show project version, deploy to public environment, deploy this. So you get this one, this is deployed, right? You can see this is deployed. This one you can see in the control environment. See, this is the one, okay, control tower and sorry, in the monitoring on the environments, you can go for onto the public where we published this environment in this process. So you can see these are all your projects in the triggers. This is all process, right? So you can trigger from it. See, this is the one. Invoice, invoice one not it came here. Automation launches it might be. So this one we can see this. So you can create a trigger for it, add trigger for the process, whatever you have created. This one. Next, so next invoice, execute, extract invoice data or decision improve. What is that? We can do one thing here, okay, and then no restriction, create this copy. Okay. So this is the example input schema. So we have to put these schemas in your triggers like this here. This is the one which we have created now. You have to further launch it. So for example, if you can see here, refresh this. Okay. So these ones you can run in the scenarios further, right? That's it. If you go to the process and workflows, you can run with the necessary JSON of it like this. Get invoice details, show instance, or you can start new instance of it. So you should remove this one and you have to paste whatever you have copied there. So this is all not required. Okay, you have to make all these ones properly and then start new instance. That's it. Okay, because I have not given all details here. We have to give the path and everything here just in the start I'll just show you the objects and everything you have to put it, and finally you have to close it. I'm just showing you how we can do this, so you can do it on your own when you are having the things with you. Okay, so this is how you have to like run the projects, like simply the invoice models, or even from this cap models. I've showed you both ways. So both ways it will be enable you to create the whatever the things that you're looking for this to make it happen. Like either we build a no code A workflow, right? So governance checkpoints are added, how to do a capstone as a level, functional consultant level, what to do, what to act. So everything was showcased in this. Okay. Well, let me show you one more thing also in this. So onto the store, you might get a lot of things from the invoice based things here. So you can see automated supplier invoice. Okay. Delivery note, intelligent invoice processing without automation. Okay. These are all these things will come through. Supplier invoice status check. Okay. These are all you can use either as part of Joule skills you can use, or either part of what you call for the BPA level, you can use anything. So even for Joule also, let me show you that. If you want specifically on Joule agent and scale, e-way bill agent or collection management dispute creation. So create from template. Let's say create. So once you create this one, the template will be open for you slowly. So this is all your Joule agents and skills. Oh, these are all skills only. Now you can see the type, these are skills, right? So you can test them as well, right? Resend the order to banking partner, retrigger invoice, get invoice details, all these things are there. So first you can test this before you releasing, let's say in the public environment, continue. Okay, so let me go to the Joule agent because by the old credentials are not getting act for that. So let me check into this. So it's clearly given the instruction. See here for whatever the handling invoice, what you have to do, and then what is your things, what is your here, and then your tools, whatever the skills that you have to do. So use this tool. If invoice is the product provided delivery number, invoice is for this. Okay, for the invoice level, you can do the quotation to order. No, all these things will be there. Format, everything was being cleanly done here. Tested, I don't know why this was taking all these things here. Not required, I think so, this one. Okay, might be it has not taken this one into consideration. We can check on this later upon the issues. Oh, that's it. That's fine. It's a systems issue only, basically, while you are generating the stream. So this way you can actually do this. I'm just showing you how these skills are also there. When a trigger scenario is called, you can see all the parameters they have been analyzed neatly. The invoice exists or not, what is the result for that. Okay, your values for that, and then condition, send message one, when default condition, auto conditions, and if not the approval conditions. So like this, everything is clearly been mentioned here. They have a message, it is also clearly being given in this, right? So this is how you have to create your invoice approvals, the Joule, in the BPA, in the CAPM. So variety of flavors I have showed you how we have to do this type of exercise other than the lab part, which was been into this. Okay. Let me show you in the between of this. Okay, one more thing. So if they release this, save all. Okay, okay, then we have to save all these things manually. Don't know, this is one reason. Okay, close these ones. I have not touched anyone yet. Now release this, release. Okay, after releasing also we'll test once. It's not required here. Even though if it is still giving error, we can do one thing. Yeah, now see it's working after releasing. It's not giving you any error issues because that's a save issue only, not that. Yeah, so this is how your Joule will help you in the invoice. This is a issue of e-way bill agent, right? So that's where it will help you on this. Okay. So yeah, this is how still it is processing the agenting test, digitalized issue. These are all behavioral issues, guys. When you have the new conversations, you can go for it. Okay, you can release this one, release, and then deploy this, and you can directly use it. Even that also giving error, it might be your SAP support issue only. Okay. So this one, go here and deploy this to public. That's only in shared environment. Okay, I can do it in shared. Warnings are okay because no issues. This is deployed. Now you can directly go to we close all these servers, means hubs pages, which were already making us to. All right. So control tower, control tower, environments, and then this one, and then onto this Joule, and then onto Joule, we have this one. See here, there are some issues by going for this, tenant administration issues are, that's why it's not allowing you. But yeah, you can do it from your side, it will be okay. And then you can just launch the capabilities, which will be happened for you. Okay, but this is getting deployed. This tenant issues once solved by SAP, it will be automatically done. Okay, so this might happen for you as well. Don't worry, the tenant is not a big thing. And your normal tenants, it will be automatically deployed. You can launch the station, you can see the task. Okay, so this is how you can understand, guys, the complete schedule of this AI for functional consultants. So we covered for finance, supply chain, HR, and the cross competencies. What is that? What type of things will be there? How you have to leverage as a complete knowledge information has been shared with you. So you can actually now leverage that and mimic things on top of that. Okay. Thank you.
Hey there! Want to learn how AI can improve business work? Our SAP AI for Functional Consultants course is here to help. You can learn anytime at your own speed on our platform. In this course, you'll learn how SAP AI works in real business projects. It helps companies automate tasks, improve decisions, and work faster with smart tools. Our course covers everything you need, from AI basics to advanced SAP AI concepts. It is designed by experts with real industry knowledge and project experience. Your trainers are skilled professionals who have worked on many SAP projects. They will guide you step by step and answer all your questions clearly. And don't just trust us. Our learners really enjoy this course too. Many students like you have used this training to improve their SAP and AI skills for better career growth. Best part? This valuable learning opportunity is simple, practical, and affordable for everyone. Ready to become a SAP AI functional consultant? Join our course today, and for more details, visit ZaranTech website.